Hello, my BMX nerd friends. Welcome back to another episode of Kanode Knows, brought to you by DIG BMX. This week's episode is the first in-person one in quite a while. Aaron Ross, the one and only Aaron Ross, my hero from when I was like 16 years old, came by the house and we sat down not knowing how long we were going to go, and it ended up going like 2.5 hours. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Aaron, thank you for coming over. And so if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Let's help DIG grow so that they keep partnering with me on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment. There's a little contest, so if you watch this episode, you'll be able to enter the contest just by leaving a comment. Like, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave a review. And yeah, I don't know how that shit works. Leave a review and type the word BMX so that when people search BMX podcast, this pops up. You already know about Aaron Ross, and it's so surreal that I just had him in my house. So, yeah, thanks again, Aaron. I don't think there's anything else I needed to talk about. Let's get into this conversation with the one and only Aaron Ross.
I'm as ready as I'll be. I say that looks good.
Okay.
Oh, look, that's us.
Yeah,
I like that you hung that picture.
Yeah, we got to bring balance.
Yeah,
some art.
Yep. He set the stage for this. Oh, I'm looking around the camera like it can't see me. I'm looking at the screen. Okay. Yeah. Here we are. I made this happen.
Hey,
I made this happen.
Yeah, you intro it.
Yeah. Oh, me.
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, what's up? We're here on the Aaron Ross podcast for DIG BMX, and we're here to interview my good friend Bobby. Some of y'all may know him from his own podcast, which we are also on currently. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna ask him a bunch of questions about his favorite bike riders, his favorite podcast he's ever done, and yeah, that's it. So, anyways, how are you today?
Hey, it's great to see you.
Great to see you.
Thanks for having me on.
It's actually worked out pretty good because this is gonna be on DIG, of course.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, cool. I'm making sure before I go into my spiel about what I was gonna spiel about. Mm-hmm. Is it spill or spiel? Spiel. Wow, I was wrong twice.
Spiel.
Well, we just dropped the Burn Slow DIG line.
Yeah.
So this is perfect.
That is perfect.
Yeah, I'm not wearing any of it. I actually don't even own any of it. But that's it.
The art of it is fire. Taking the DIG logo and putting the.
It was really good.
Adam's amazing.
Adam is great. You know, some of y'all know me. Some of the stuff is, some of it's wild. And I just realized you have a 3-legged dog.
I do have a 3-legged dog.
This is really funny because Adam has a I don't want to get into it, but named MJ because he had 3 legs.
Shit. Yeah.
So his cat was named MJ and had 3 legs, and he was like, yeah, it's like Michael Jordan dunking the ball, and you have one. So that's
shout out
MJ number 2.
Shout out Adam's dead cat. Fuck.
I think that day is gone.
Rest in peace.
I don't want to get. Yes, it has.
This guy came with the name Trip.
Okay.
Short for tripod.
Okay, I like that.
That is a good name. I was at work.
It's also very fitting for you.
Yeah, Trip.
Like, I have a couple tripods.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
I don't go anywhere without my tripod.
All right.
I was at work and I was just impulsively like, I need to get a dog. And then I told my buddy.
That's the worst.
Just an impulse buy. I need to get a dog.
I impulsively need a giant responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. And then my friend was like, okay, 3, 2, 1, what are you going to name him? And I panicked and I was like, George. So he could have been named George. And then, so it took 3 months to get him. So my impulse decision gave me a lot of time to sit back and think and,
That George was maybe not the right
yeah,
name. Okay.
But then I decided, the ladies at the place that he came from, they named him Trip already. And I was like, that's fire. That's
okay.
So much better of a name.
I like that. That's good.
You got pets?
No pets.
You just have humans.
I have a human. I think a human is less responsibility
than a dog.
Yes, I can give you the pros and cons.
Hit me with them.
Well, my daughter is welcome anywhere.
Nice.
At any event, at any unless someone at the event's like no children allowed, but like she's allowed on planes without like a vest, without any sort of anything.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be a service human.
I have to pay a bunch of money for her to be on the plane now because she's over 2, but. And because when something happens to an animal, and this is just going to show how maybe my soul works, it's a lot of money to take care of a dog.
Yeah. And
or an animal that has to go in for an emergency surgery.
Yeah.
And with a human, you're like, yeah, I'll pay whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe, so I've never had, and I'm actually highly allergic to a lot of animals. So that also helps too.
What are you allergic to? Dogs,
cats, everything. Yeah. I'm allergic to literally everything in the world. So that doesn't help. And as I've gotten older, I've gotten more allergic to some of it, but he's he
Yeah.
Okay. He's a very good looking dog,
And he's
very nice looking.
hypoallergenic.
So they
you know?
say.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
They say that, like, everyone says that. They're like, oh well, you know, and I'm like, yeah, but there's still oils and there's still like so many things that like so yeah. That's
My girlfriend's reacting to him. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, even though he's hyperallergenic.
Just
means they
my
don't
in-laws
shit.
have one, and like when I go to the house, and if I just lay on the couch, I can feel it, like it just starts to itch in my throat. So, anyways, yeah, that's BS.
So keep this thing close to you.
I know.
Put it in your
I'm
lap
sorry.
or whatever.
I'm not gonna move again.
We were talking about trip. Shit. So speaking of trips, you're on a trip out here to Arizona.
Yep, visiting the family.
Okay.
I got a brother-in-law out here that's going to school, and so we just kind of wanted to go on a trip, see the family.
You sent me a pin, and it's like you're staying exactly where I grew up and came of age, and where you're staying is 5 minutes away from where the Gully House was when Maloof and Westcott and DBG and that whole gang would come out, and that was my first taste of like a BMX house.
So you went to school right there, you said?
Yeah.
So I think my nieces, they'll go through that school.
Nice.
Maybe, you know, I don't know if they'll be here long enough to go to high school, but you know, you never know.
You never know.
Yeah. So have you ever left? Is this home?
Have I ever left?
Like Arizona?
Yeah, so I moved here with my family when I was 11. My dad wanted to golf. That was
It's funny because I'm trying to do the same. So,
yeah. It's the shit. It's the best place in the world for golf, I believe.
That's what I hear. I've never played a golf course in Arizona. So,
we
looked up today because we're going to go tomorrow morning, and we looked up the TPC stadium course available tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. But it's like $380.
Damn. Yeah.
And it's a little much, you know. And my father-in-law actually just had some surgery, and so he can't play right now. He could play like in 10 days, but he has some stitches he has to deal with. So I said, you know what, we got to wait till everyone can play. It's not going to, like, because he's going to come out with us, and he's just going to sit in the car and play the stadium course and be like,
damn.
Yeah, so I said, no, we'll come back. We'll do it again. So
TPC,
we're just going to play.
Is that the one where the Waste Management Open is? Okay, yeah. I've never been there.
So, you know, it's obviously expensive for a reason.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess I'm excited because I want to play a course. This is the desert.
Yeah.
And for some reason, these are the greenest golf courses in the entire world.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that. This is the literal desert. I don't see a piece of grass within a mile of here. And for some reason, whatever.
It's weird how it works. It is a problem. I think like if we ever ran in, like shit hit the fan, we would have to cut off golf courses. Like,
for some reason,
so much water.
That's happened, and y'all didn't shut off golf courses. So,
yeah.
You know, whatever. Anyway.
Essential. You know, we got to keep all the old white dudes happy.
Yep. I get it.
How long have you been golfing?
Now it's a little while. I used to, you know how when you tell a story so many times you feel like the story, you're like, 4 years. Now I'm like, that story's like 10 now, maybe. No, maybe like 8 or 9 years officially. But I bought clubs a little before that and played with Devin Hutchins. We'd play this little par 3 course all the time. We'd actually play most days before we'd go film.
I feel like that's how you get good
or
at playing
after
the small
filming.
courses. Yeah.
We'd go film. We just play this little par 3 course and we loved it. And I played a lot of baseball growing up, played a lot of sports, and obviously ride bikes. So I was like, I want to play a real course. I want to hit the ball further. I don't want to play 100-yard holes.
Yeah.
And I still love that, but you know, you just want to do the whole thing. And so we got into it, or I got into it just sort of. And then when I met my wife's family, they played golf. And so I was more like the extreme sports side of things and like could do all of it, but, you know, got into it that way. And so kind of just was like, way to hang out with you guys. I like appreciate, you know, traditional sports. I'm a huge like sports fan. So this like fits right into it. It wasn't like weird. Like I've always wanted to play like sports, even though BMX was like, so yeah, it just sort of happened. I got pretty good at it decently quick. Now it's like, it's, you know, golf's hard.
Did you play other sports growing up? I know you grew up racing.
Yep. I played all the sports. I played everything. I played a tiny bit of football, but I played a lot of baseball, and I was pretty good at baseball. But just bike riding kind of took over. Now I play on like a baseball team. I play golf. I play all kinds of stuff. So I've always loved sports. Like it's like an outlet. And now that I've gotten older, and like, you know, you can't ride 8 hours a day. I've found I find happiness in all these other outlets, which is nice. So yeah.
Like what? Yeah. What other outlets besides the sports?
I mean, I guess I like old cars. I like I've gotten into like, mostly now just playing with my daughter. Like I like, my daughter's like, you know, she becomes your best friend. She's just like,
how old is she?
She's 2.5 officially, just like 10 days ago or something.
Awesome.
And she's super fun. Like she's capable to kind of do all kinds of stuff. So we kind of go on long bike rides. She'll go on bike rides, like ride trails. She'll like, so
sick.
You kind of just have this friend that you just take everywhere.
Yeah.
And like, she's, not in school yet, not like getting taken care of by anyone.
Is she talking?
Oh yeah. She's
I love
talking.
that, dude.
She walked at like 9 months. She was running at like 10. She learned how to ride her bike like 3 weeks ago. So she's
sick.
pedaling her bike. So she's fun. It's fun when you have someone that you can like, she like loves golf too.
Nice.
I don't say loves golf,
but loves
she
being
likes
around.
going. She likes
Yeah.
being around it. Like being in the golf cart. She likes doing it. But her attention span's short as a kid, so she's like, I love this, and like squirrel, like if she's out. And I'm not someone, like I don't want to push her in any way. So like I keep kind of like, she has bikes, she has skateboards, she has everything, basketball, softball, you name it. She has everything. Yeah. And when she latches onto something, we'll be there to help her. Yep. But I'm not trying to push her to race at the BMX track. If she wants to, she can. I also know how hard the ground is at the racetrack. Yeah. And like how and people are like, she's gonna ride BMX. I'm like,
pretty dangerous.
It's pretty dangerous. And she's just a cute little girl. And I'm just like, man, like, but she's more than capable. And when she's ready and when she wants to, like we'll be there to support her 100%. If she wants to try and be an Olympic BMX racer, I'll be there every step of the way. But if she wants to be a whatever, it's like, so she's also 2.5.
Having a kid is so crazy to me. I'm like envisioning having a kid in the future. And I've joked about this in the past. Like, I'm going to force him or her to learn the piano when they're young. And like,
it's just
did those thoughts
are
cross
you
your
good
mind?
at piano?
No, but
Okay.
I wish that my parents forced me to.
See,
They tried to get me to, and I said no way, I don't wanna. But then thinking back, I'm like, I wish they forced me to.
It is tough. So things that you don't realize that are good, and like playing tennis is smart when you're a kid. Like playing golf is smart when you're a kid, because these are things you can do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like, obviously you can ride BMX and race BMX in some capacity for the rest of your life, but riding freestyle BMX, depending on who you are and like what you're into, can be hard. Like, I only have like a handful of gears, and I like to ride BMX street like a certain way. And at some point, like, that's not necessarily fun anymore, because it hurts and things are going to hurt. And
damn, BMX hurts, dude.
I know, it's brutal. I want to fix this thing. I want to raise it.
Make it tall and then put it in your lap.
That's what
like
I was about
this.
to do.
Yeah.
It's because y'all are going to listen to me bobbing this thing all day. How do you move it?
So you firmly grasp the shaft here and give her a twist.
That one. Nope.
And then you twist the rubber and pull it up.
Oh, this big thing.
Yeah, the rubber.
Oh. Okay.
There we go.
All right.
There we go. Now we're cooking.
Now this is only going to get better for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, this is game changing.
How does that sound in your ears?
Oh, now I've loosened this whole thing. All right. Now we're getting moving. Okay. All right.
This is the first time these stands are being used. I'm pretty stoked.
Hey. Yeah, I've never done a podcast online ever.
Like over Zoom or whatever?
I feel bad saying that, but I've been, and I don't want to be like, I've been asked to be on so many podcasts.
I'm a big deal.
But I have been asked to be on a handful of podcasts that are pretty big deal podcasts within golf, within some car stuff, and within some BMX. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And I just like, they're like, give me a date. And I'm like, I can't like,
dude, it's hard.
I'm just not like I'm not good at scheduling things. I'm good at scheduling things like the day before or the day of, but I'm not good at scheduling things like weeks in advance. That's just not how my wife and I life works. We have very this past year has probably been on par with like my busiest BMX year ever. Like, we spent 60-70% of the year gone. Like, we were working on projects in Arkansas, working on projects outside Austin, and like we would stay on site for 5 days, 10 days at a time.
And when you say projects, you're talking about real estate
stuff. Yeah. And so but in Arkansas, it's still rad, because Arkansas, or Bentonville, Arkansas, is becoming like this crazy mountain bike mecca of the world. And
that's
so
interesting.
It's crazy.
That was my next question. Is why
insane.
Arkansas?
Man, I mean, people that are listening to this that have been or know anything about oh, dude, look, we got
the
it.
Be Real?
Dude, we got the Be Real. Dude,
Let's be real, dude.
Let's do this. So I joined Be Real 2 days ago, and I have a minute. And so you have a minute and 4. You're not on.
I'm not on, so I have no clue.
I have no clue, and I am on. I've only been on. This is day 3, but we have a minute and 38. Okay, so I guess I look at you,
and I'll look at the
and this
camera
is it.
Sick.
So look, let's see. That's it.
That's fire.
That's it. That's pretty good. And that's it.
I gotta download Be Real.
So look at me, just like doing business for these guys I don't even know. Okay. I'm gonna say potty.
Use promo code Aaron Ross on B.
Yeah.
Sign up for Be Real.
So I guess you can like tag people. I don't really know.
Be Real. If this is, I mean, so from what I gathered on Unclicked, is you were ahead of the game on social media back in the day. For
I was pretty.
BMX
So
and Twitter.
how do you spell your last name? I don't know how to spell it.
Kanode.
K-A-N.
Yes, sir.
So wait, K-A-N.
Kanode.
Okay.
Kanode.
Oh yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I think I put dog BMX, so that's not good. Okay, I posted it. Boom. Look at us on top of it.
Look at us go. Be real.
Be real.
Off camera, he said, "I hope it goes off while we're in the middle of the podcast."
Yeah,
And
well,
then
I'm on day 3. I told him the story, but I was sitting there and my mother-in-law was like, "Let me get a photo of with my grandchildren. Be real." And I was like, "I feel like if you have a Be Real, I should probably have a Be Real." And so I downloaded in that moment. And so this was day 3. For all of y'all who are on Be Real, you can follow me. If that's how it works.
And
I haven't followed anyone.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I did get a notification that my sister asked to be my friend.
Okay.
I have not seen the notification. I haven't gone and tried to do
It's
anything
exciting.
about it.
It's a whole new thing.
So my sister's on it. I'll tell you that much.
That's dope.
Anyways, where were we?
Well, I want to talk about Be Real more.
Okay, let's talk about
you
Be Real.
said it notifies everybody in the world at the same time.
I don't know if it's geographical, like if it's just like the central time, because obviously, like I'm assuming it's not telling people in, wherever's asleep right now to do it at the same time. So I don't know how that works. I do not know any more information than what I have already said, and that's it. I know nothing.
I wonder if it's like you scroll through and see other people's shit.
Yeah, you can follow people, and I think you can follow like friends and celebrities or whoever, and it's just like it's live. And I think it's probably frowned upon if you don't answer your Be Real in that 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because then you're probably doing something sketchy.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the basis of it. But I don't know how I don't know how this gets monetized. I don't know what the plan is here. But anyways, we did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great photo of me, but you looked good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, so
we're talking about you were going into, I mean, this is as busy as your busiest BMX years, but in a different sense, like traveling, doing real estate. How many properties do you own right now?
We own a handful of properties, a couple Airbnbs, and then we do a couple, I guess commercial stuff as well. I guess you could say the Airbnbs are commercial, but they're homes in the middle of a town. It's really fun. It gives you the freedom to like kind of, be able to travel. And like I said, we enjoyed Arkansas. So it's like 8-hour drive wasn't the end of the world. It was like I get to ride some of these amazing trails and ride bikes. But at the same time, like I went there during, and this is partly my fault, but we went there during Bentonville Bike Week, which is like a big deal. Like people, like there's a flatland contest. There's like some of the big BMX free, like dirt jump pros are in town. R. Willie is in town. They're doing this is a big deal. The whole town is like town, city, whatever. It's the home of Walmart, which is, some people don't love that. Yeah. When you get there and then you start to ride the 500 miles of perfectly groomed paved trails, you don't mind that you start to really feel like shopping local is not that bad. Yeah. I mean, there's like jump parks that have lights all night long. It's like unbelievable.
That is awesome.
And as I've gotten older, the simplicity of that is nice. You know, like you do love chasing spots and like hiding out behind buildings, but at the same time, like just enjoying the skill set that I have, like riding like easy flow trails is also really enjoyable. Yeah. Like when you were younger, you're like, oh, this is cool, but like I want to go like find something to ride. I want to find this and find that, and like I still have that in me a little bit, but at the same time, convenience wise, you're like, oh, if I can go this perfectly groomed asphalt set of trails, like that's pretty nice too. And
you get that feeling, the weightless feeling.
Yes,
I think
that's very nice.
That'll never get old, and it doesn't it's not too hard on your body unless you eat shit, obviously.
Yes, and that's the only thing I will say is like I've been fortunate out there, but like it is asphalt, and so when you do hit the ground, it's going to suck pretty bad. But I try and keep it. I'm not trying to do too much. I've never been too good at. I've never been good at chilling and riding. I'm like someone who's like, and I don't know how. Like, I have like it's either on and filming, or it's completely off, and I'm just like flowing and like doing manuals. Like, so watching me ride the skate park is really unappealing. Like my whole career, like never. Yeah. Unless I'm literally filming something. And you could say filming Instagram or filming a clip, like same deal. But like you go to the skate park and you watch like Chase Hawk ride and he's like headphones in. It's like X Games run every day. He's like firing all cylinders like 10 feet in the air, and you're just like, I'm gonna manual this ledge. Yes. And like, I'm not even doing bar spins out of these manuals. Like, I'm not even doing manual 180s. Like, I am literally just doing manuals.
The simplest shit.
Prime of my career, I was like, I'll manual this ledge.
Yeah.
And like, I have these lines.
That's interesting. Prime of your career, you're just like,
yeah. Like, I would like the big the big hubba at the skate park. Like, my line would be like double tire, which is like a high bunny hop. Like, it's not hard. It's not easy. It's just like the simple of like, I'm going to use all these like muscles. I'm going to like, it's kind of just like staying ready all the time.
Yeah.
I've also never been a very dialed bike rider. Like, when you watch like Nathan Williams or someone, Garrett, like when those guys are at the skate park, they're doing really hard stuff daily.
Consistently.
Like Bart, obviously it's different. They're better at it than I am. But I would like to say that like 90% of what I did in the streets was learned at that spot. And like, if I did a bar manual to like whip in a line, I probably hadn't done it in 6 months. Like, I found a spot, this trick, this line, this thing applied to it. And so in this moment, I have to relearn it.
Yeah.
I'm not someone like, I would do bar manuals like fly out of a quarter pipe or something, like riding a spot. But like, I didn't just sit at the skate park and do bar manuals to be ready for the day that the spot appeared.
Yeah.
That's not me. I was like, which I could have been a lot better bike rider, but I enjoyed the challenge in those moments to be like, hey, I'm going to like figure out how to
learn on camera. Yeah.
And like, and I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, bar manual comes to mind because it's like something I never had dialed in, but I was good at.
Yeah.
But it was like, you watch guys today, and guys today are better, but like bar manual every time for fun. Like Matt Nordstrom will do bar manual in the parking lot to get ready to go into the skate park out of his car in the morning, and I'm like, like I need the motivation of the camera, and the like what am I trying to accomplish here? And I was someone who was always like, video parts to me were a puzzle, and like what piece is needed. Yeah. And so like I would look at a part and be like, oh, I don't have one bar to manual. Yeah. And like that text. So I haven't shown the audience or whoever, the viewer, that I can do a bar to manual. So I'm going to find a spot and do a bar to manual. Yeah. And I don't mean it was so calculated, but like, if you guys are younger and you don't think that Dak or Nathan or Garrett are like planning out their video parts more than like the like kids coming up, it's very different. Like Garrett or Nathan, they know what is not missing, and they know what's not been shown, and they know what they can do. I mean, you film these guys. Like it's like a math problem, and it's not just like, oh man, let's film every spot. I'll get a couple tricks. It's like like,
because then it can get repetitive. You can get stuck doing a truck down a couple of sets, and then it's just 3 trucks downstairs. Exactly. And it's just like, no, we need balance. So like, dude, Garrett is a great example of that, dude. Like the 360 table clip comes to it's like mind. You
want to be able to show, and I tell kids this online. I'm like, oh, you got to like, show everything that you can do, but you also need to show things that aren't necessarily like repetitive in the sense of like, well, if you could, like, I've always had a big problem. I never would be good. We talked about this a little bit, like a commentator. Yeah. Like I would never be good if watching like a dirt event. I love dirt. Yeah. But I don't need to see someone do a tail up, a double tail up, and a triple tail up all in the same run. I'm like, if you can do the triple, I'm guessing you can do the single. Yeah. And so, and I feel that way about video parts. Like if you truck a 15 set, the next truck better be in a tech line. Yeah. It doesn't need to be a 10 set. Or, it's like, I mean, you get that as a, someone who's going to edit videos, and those have been like, it's an immediate, like, oh, and then you start watching for the replicate that, like them, replicating other things in that. And that's, I don't want to be like, I'm not trying to be rodeo peanut over here, but you know what I mean? Like, I think that's not, I guess that's mean to say, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that's what makes Dak and Nathan and Garrett, that's the next level. Yeah. And so if you want to get to that next level, watch those video parts, dissect those video parts, and understand why they did what they did in those moments. And it's like, there is no BS in those parts. Yeah. It's like every spot and everything is calculated, like, and I think that's just important for kids and people who want to like take that next step. You got to know that.
What are you most proud of video part wise in your career? What sticks out?
Man,
you've had some bangers.
I've had a couple. I thought about this. Like I didn't think about much of what I was going to say while I was in this, but I was going to say Arizona's been very good to me. Yeah. Some of my most famous clips are all here. Like there, like that rail. I faked up that rail. That was like the
the deck park rail.
And then the 15 set in the Chill Bro video was here.
Tucson.
Is it? It's Tucson. Yeah, I actually texted Casey Badger on this trip, and I was like, "Hey, where's this at? Like, can you give me a pin?" And he was like, "Dude, I don't even know what you're talking about." And I was like, so I had to send him a screenshot of the clip, and he's like, "Oh, that's in Tucson." And he was like, And but Arizona has been good too. The early Empire crew, and then I just filmed a lot of pretty good stuff here. So,
Yeah.
That video part would have to be one of my favorites.
That's that Every Day I'm Hustling.
Yeah.
Which is Chill Bro?
Chill
right?
Bro, yes.
Yeah.
It was at a time when like no one had really seen everything that I could do. And so going to spots was easy. Like I would go to a spot and be like, well, I can do this. And they'd be like, you can do that? And I'd be like,
Feeble 180 bar. What?
and I'm like, that's just like, that's all I know still.
Yeah.
And so it was not so hard, someone like Felix right now is dropping parts left and right. Dude. And he's just on fire.
Yeah.
Well, which is great because his star is like rising, but at the same time, like, where does he go next? Like now we all have this insane
expectations.
Level. Yeah. Like watched him do an up rail 3 whip out of a rail at an X Games costume. I'm like, okay, so like now you have to do it on a bigger, better rail out and about. And I'm not saying that I'm going to judge that whether or not, but I'm just saying that's how the bar gets set. Like, and it's funny because like you watch someone like Garrett take X Games runs. Garrett's always been good about like, no, I'm going to do efficient stuff in the X Games, and then my video parts are for something better. And I think, Felix just stunned it on the whole entire industry in a 45-second BMX run, and I'm like, well, I'm ready for the next part. Like, so
for real.
Get to work. I'm a big fan of Felix. Felix
Me too, man.
He's someone. There's only a handful of people that I've ever, and some people might take this like who isn't a big fan of Felix right now. So I feel like Felix looks at spots and rides spots the way that I looked at spots and the way that I rode them. Can I do anything that he can do? No. And I'm not on his level.
Yeah.
But
in your brain, you can imagine what it feels like to do.
Yeah, like Chase and I do not look at spots the same way.
Yeah.
Dak and I don't necessarily look at spots the same way. Like he's looking for different types of stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit of a riding with certain people will overlap here and there. Like 10% of Dak's riding and I can overlap in a way, but like we do not ride the same.
Right.
I appreciate Dak's one of my favorite bikers of all time, but we don't ride the same. Felix looks at spots and sees them the same way that I saw them. I did, a lower level of tricks at the time, but so I have a big appreciation for what he's doing. And like the regular and the switch, I did a lot of regular, a lot of switch stuff. And he looks at like ledges to like sets. Some people be like, oh yeah, you can like grind the ledge manual 180 the stair. And I'm like, yeah, that's like not enough of the way. That's not how I looked at it. And so anyways, I've become a big fan and I'm ready for the next video part. So
we love Felix.
You get ready.
We love Felix.
Yeah, we do like Felix. He's good. Where's he from?
Germany.
Okay. That's what I thought.
I'm pretty confident Germany. Yeah.
Sounds like it. Felix is like a German name, right?
Shout out to Tom Edge. He left a comment and he said, love you, Bobby, but you need to look at a map. And I was like, yeah, I do. My brain is broken. I don't know where shit is, man.
He's from over there. That's fine.
So let's stick on Chill Bro for a second because you were talking about finding balance in the video part. Like what was the process? How long did it take to film Chill Bro and multiple trips? And then
we were all pretty young then. Chill Bro was probably pretty quick. I don't remember. This was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
My brain is,
back in the day.
Yeah. Things are changing and I don't remember all of it. But Chill Bro was pretty quick. Bad Idea was when it started to take a long time. The Etnies videos took a long time. Chill Bro went pretty quick from what I remember. I think I also came in a tiny bit. No, because I was on the first one. So I don't think it took all that long. Maybe 2 years. We were young and like it was easy.
Yeah.
Like no one had seen everybody yet. So like you could kind of do whatever you wanted everywhere.
Yeah, it was your coming out shit.
You didn't have to like be so selective or so picky. You didn't have to be like, well, I did that in the last video. Like there wasn't really a last video. There was, but there wasn't. And I think it was, so I'd guess somewhere a year and a half, because it came out in 2009. I think that was the year I dropped 3 video parts pretty back to back. I had like the Etnies video, that video. I think that was the year I won.
A banging year.
I know it really was. I look back now and I realize like, wow, that was a crazy year. Like, I won a Nor Cup for all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Fudger or Z or someone, I don't remember who it was, but someone, I also was voted in like video part of the year for like 3 different video parts.
Yes.
And so I didn't win.
I heard you talking about this on Unclicked. Yeah.
And I don't remember all the details of that, but I was always bummed because like, well, I could have like put them all together, right? Exactly. Like, come on.
Cumulative. I win.
But now I have a different appreciation for that. Like I have a different, like, dude, I'm psyched that like, I'm not someone like, whatever. It was a long time ago. I don't care about winning or losing that, but like, it's cool that I put out all those video parts. And I think that's something like Felix just did, just dropped all these video parts at once, back to back to back. And it's like, dude, man, like, where do you go? And now I think we'll start to see a little less of him and he's going to work on some heavy heavy stuff. But
I think he's working with Rich
Yeah.
for Monster Freak
yeah,
with Jordan Godwin and I think Alex Donachie and
they're gonna.
yeah, that's gonna be sick.
Yeah, those I wouldn't be in that video part. But.
So, what was who edited Chill Bro?
Chillbro was Joel Moody. It was like
Moody.
Joel Moody had
Legend.
done the first one and then the second one, and then he sort of pieced out. He moved out to California, got into like film work, and
Nice.
Yeah, he started doing his own thing. He's still out there. Joel's actually, if you were a fan of Joel and you're not following him online, Joel rides every day. I might exaggerate, but like he is posting clips of him shredding. He hasn't changed. He looks the same. So if you were a fan of Joel, he is shredding every day, like half flatland, half street.
And he's a writer, director, producer.
There you go.
Cool. Watch on Prime Video. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he dropped a movie recently.
That's incredible.
What was it called? Through the Loop.
And he
or
is
something
still
like
writing,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh yeah, he's shredding. These are like new.
Breaking the loop. This
Like he
is
posted
sick.
something today or yesterday.
Yeah,
like
let's
he's
go.
shredding. So
He was the first one he's the first person I ever saw do a hang five to hold it halfway
Yep.
and then bring it back. I was like, what?
and he did the grind like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So he actually did one the other day.
Nice.
And I was like, damn, Joel's still shredding, because I don't know how hard that is, because it's too hard for me, but I don't know how hard that is for someone like a Matt Nordstrom who can like do everything and
Right,
like
yeah.
does that stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's easy. I have
Can
no
you
clue.
hang five?
I can hang five for like 20 feet.
It's weird how it works, dude. Like hang five, I think I can hold for longer than I can just a regular manual.
I've
as far
never
as, like-
tried though.
Yeah.
I've never tried to get any better than that. I did some nose willies early in the nose willy game and like did a really long one, and no joke, I did a nose willy so long before it took me a long time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember the time, but 2 hours. It was on a mega tour. Gary Young still to this day will like be like, he told me you cannot do it. This is too long and you cannot do it. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And I'm not
Love
kidding.
it.
I think before I landed both tires on the ground, when I pulled it that night, I'd already been like, never doing a nose wheelie again in my life. And I have never done a nose wheelie again in my life. I don't care. But I did. I mean, it's not long compared to like today.
Today's shit, yeah.
But like it was long at that time.
Yeah.
It was,
What was it in?
it was in Props Mega Tour. It was the one when we were rapping about Afro Man, and
All right. Sick.
I have the purple or the blue bike with the purple wheels or pink magenta wheels.
Yep.
And Joel Moody, not Joel. Gary was like, "You can't do it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well,
Watch this.
I'm gonna try now." And he wasn't trying to motivate me. He was trying to be like, "Let's just go home.
Yeah.
It's like midnight.
Yeah.
Let's get out of
He's
here."
being the voice of reason.
Yeah, he was like, "Come on!" And then I did it, and he like, I could see Gary's smile like coming up to hug me, like, "You did it!" And I'm like, "I'm never gonna do it again." and I swear, I don't know if I've ever done a nose wheelie more than like 10 feet since then.
It's easily the most frustrating trick. Because
Yeah.
you can get up, it feels so good when you do a long one, but then it goes
Yeah.
away the next day. It's like starting from scratch. Like, I can do one parking lot square, you know? It's
No,
fucking
I don't even want to do
ridiculous.
that. Now I'm like, I don't want to run out of anything. My body's gotten pretty beat up. And
Yeah.
I'm just sort of like, I'm good.
And
So,
it's interesting because that's one of those tricks where I get absolutely locked in and obsessed. Like if I'm trying it, I'm just going in circles, trying
Yeah.
it over and over and over again.
I think I like I was never as good as like, the person I think of who's really good at getting out of it early on was like Corey Martinez was so good at getting
Yeah.
out. He turned the bar sideways, he'd jump and run out.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I was always someone who like kind of
Go down with the ship.
go down with the ship if
Shoulder
I was
check.
going over, but never would fully commit. So I would always put the back wheel down. So I was either
okay,
doing
yeah.
the nose wheelie or I was putting the back wheel down.
Yeah.
And Corey would always get locked in, but be ready to jump out.
Yep.
And I'm 200 pounds of like just diving headfirst in the ground. It got old pretty quick.
Yeah.
And, so I did what I could do and I called it a day.
Yeah. How old were you on this mega tour? How old are you now, by the way?
I am 36 as of August.
nice.
So I'm 36. I know that's not like crazy old, but
No.
I am pretty beat up.
In BMX years, yeah, it's pretty old.
Pretty old. And sometimes I'm like, look at Dak or someone. I'm like, man, these guys are still.
Yeah, how old is Dak?
I think
you know?
Dak and I are pretty close.
Yeah.
I would guess Dak's 35, 36. I know Nathan's like 33, 34. Garrett's like 33.
And Corey's out there.
Corey's 39,
Older?
maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think he's 40 yet.
Yeah. Who do you think is the oldest, but still up there pro? Corey?
Yeah,
gotta
I
be the
think
godfather at
Corey.
this
I would
point.
say like Gary. Gary's still like
Yeah, true.
shredding.
Yeah.
Gary is maybe not 40 yet, but he's older than I am, so I think he's 38, 39, 40. Gary would probably be the one where he's like still actively shredding, going on trips.
Yeah.
Like he's still I talked about this at Dawn of the Streets recently with someone where I was like, who do you think's going to be like BMX is there now. We're going to have 40-year-old guys who are putting out fire parts that are not like, oh, that's so cool to see him doing that. It's like, no, like
this is still,
you know, Dak's going to be putting out real parts. You know, these guys are going to put out real stuff. And we're finally there. I don't think BMX, like, you know, skateboarding's been there for a bit where like that respect and like those, but it also has to do with like BMX is growing in a sense where like we can afford to keep those guys around longer, and skateboarding's been able to do that for a long time. And we're finally, I think,
interesting.
There.
What do you mean by being able to afford to keep those guys around?
I mean, like these dudes are doing this for their living. Like, you know, these guys, this is what they do for work and this is what they do for a job. And so like, I think prior BMXers didn't make enough money. And so you had to make that decision when you got to, you know, 28 or 30 or whatever to be like, I kind of like want a family, want a kid. I like gotta start to prioritize that. You don't realize 40 is really close to 50. And like, you gotta start putting,
figuring out, play the game.
Hey, like not everyone does. Some people are like lifers, but at the same time, like I think sometimes in BMX, like, or in any sport, any professional athlete, like you start to see like, hey, I want to try and put my best foot forward because like I've enjoyed the good life. Yeah. How do I find a happy middle of being able to continue that forever and like getting to like, you know, afford a good life or, you know, something along. And I don't mean like rich, just mean like how do you make it work? And I think
provide
like,
for a family and fucking raise a good kid.
Exactly.
Like,
and I think like
goal.
When you get to people like Gary or myself or Dak, like when you're getting paid the most out of all the riders, and I don't mean the most, like other guys are getting paid the same, but like it's tougher to then be like, well, I have a job on the weekend. They're like, no, the reason we pay you that much, like it makes sense when the younger flow or the early guys have other jobs because they literally have
a month guys. Yeah.
And so when you're the big guy, they kind of expect you to be like doing it. And so I think, so I don't know, you know, but I've always applauded that Gary did that as a, you know, I've always looked up to Gary. I think it's this thing where I'm like, well, I'm so excited that like you're not going to ever put yourself in a bad position by hanging on. Yeah. Like now you're like, well, I am hanging on, but I'm hanging on to like the right thing. Yeah. And like, and I think that's great. And I think like, you know, I've heard rumor about other pros that are doing kind of the same thing, like working inside the like sponsors they already have, but it keeps them happy with both things. And like, so I think that's, and I know a lot of skateboarders do that. Like when some of those older guys on vans, like they're become not necessarily reps, but like they're ambassadors, like not just through their skating, but just through like the opening new shops and all these other things. Right. And so I'm like, BMX is finally getting there where we have guys that are old enough to be able to like help them, you know, stick around for a long time. Like some of the people we grew up looking up to, how many guys are still in BMX? Right. Van Homan.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Ruben kind of, I mean, Ruben for sure, but like Brian Foster is a literal doctor. And like, and that's awesome. And we still get to see him ride, but like, he's a literal weekend warrior now. Yeah. Which is, dude, there's no hate. That's great. But like you look at skateboarding, some of these dudes hang around forever. Yeah. And we get to like appreciate what they did for us forever. But you know, the income that they made was different and they don't feel the need to leave. And true. Like, so I'm hoping BMX over the next 10, 15 years can get to that where, you know, you feel like dudes are getting to stick around and be appreciated for the like, you look at Van Homan, like getting to stick around, dude, that guy changed people's lives. He like motivated and like did things for me and for other people that like no one has ever been able to, you know, replicate. And like,
if anybody in BMX deserves a longevity career, it's Van.
Yeah. And so I think like being able to see like, you know, someone like Garrett's going to get to do that. He owns his own bike company in the industry. So Garrett's going to get a ride for as long as he wants.
And he's still getting better. It's fucking ridiculous.
Like, I've actually thought about this recently. I was like, you know, I'm not the most on top of like what's happening in BMX and like seeing who's coming out with stuff. And I'm like, there hasn't been a Garrett video in a minute. And that means there's one coming. Yeah. Like there's one coming. And I don't know when, I don't know who it's for. I don't care who it's for, but there's a Garrett video coming.
Yep, I'm very excited.
And I know nothing about that. I have no leads, but I know that quietness means there's something coming.
Yeah, something's cooking.
And I just think that I'm excited. I don't know. Garrett's the one where I'm like, damn, you're still really good.
And he keeps like every single, I don't know. I would think that every part that he's put out has gotten progressively better. Yes. Like, I don't think he has.
They've changed. Yeah. You know, but that kind of goes back to those things. Like Garrett didn't give you everything every time. And so therefore there's, you know, I think someone like him, like, you know, bad example, you can take it however you, but I'm like, he's like, oh, I could do it here, or I can wait till the right spot. And Garrett has patience. Yeah. That's also something that's, you know, the longevity gives those guys is like patience to find the right spot. When you think this is your last great big part, you feel like you got to shove it full of everything. Garrett probably doesn't live in a fear of like thinking this is his last part. Like his sponsors aren't about to get rid of him. He is his own sponsor to some extent. Like Garrett can be like, this isn't the best spot for this trick. I'm going to wait till the right time.
Yeah, I love that.
And he's lucky to have that. Not everyone has that. Some people like put out parts and they don't realize that they're never going to put out another part.
How did you first meet Garrett?
Well, Garrett and I actually share the same birthday. Nice. Don't have the same year.
In August
2nd.
Yeah. Okay.
How did I meet Garrett? Probably, I mean, man, I can't tell you. I would guess maybe like what is it? What are the contests in Canada back in the day? Metro Jams? I do remember early Garrett, like
young Garrett,
like the zebra print and everything. I do remember that. I remember sitting in the stands talking to John Pova, the Etnies TM, about Garrett. I think Garrett was getting shoes at the time from Etnies, and then quickly was on Nike, and then quickly was, you didn't realize Garrett Reynolds was going to be Garrett Reynolds.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool when there's kids that grew up, like people talking about this, like LeBron James. They're like, dude, all these people grow up and live up to the hype, and like that's a lot on their shoulders.
A lot of pressure.
Like LeBron, people are like, man, it's crazy. Like he's been sought after since he was like 14.
Yeah.
And he lived up to every single thing that you guys have ever said, whether you like him or you don't. Like the most consistent, he's about to own every statistic in the NBA.
100%.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
And Garrett's 14. Everyone's like, he's the future. He's the future. He's the future. He's this. He's
That's
that.
A lot of pressure.
He's great. And like, he was great, but he did a lot of the same stuff at the time. He was a kid. And now you're like, dude, here we are. We're literally 16, 18 years later, and Garrett is the best bike rider, the best street rider of our generation. And he lived up to every single expectation or surpassed every one of them.
Yeah, he pushed the game.
And I don't think he didn't. That's not what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
He just is that good.
That's what I love talking about this, the mindset of like, because I've said this in past podcasts, like I treated getting sponsored almost like a finish line of like, oh, I got sponsored. Okay. Now I'm not going to try and learn any new tricks, which was really dumb. And so the mindset that the top guys have of just like, you're competing with yourself every day and you want to get better and all that. Like I don't know. What was your mindset when you were?
Early on, you're just doing it. But I think when you get past those first few parts and then you're like, oh, I'm kind of here. You start to kind of like, you get put to work. Like I was on trips all the time and you're expected to like, be
produce some
Aaron Ross everywhere. You're supposed to be, you go to every set of stairs and people are like, you'd go to cities and they'd be like, so we took you to this 20 set. And you're like, yeah, like, and it wasn't that I was opposed to doing the tail whip down the 20 set. It's just like, this isn't where the tail whip down the 20 set happens.
Yeah.
Like this, and like, maybe this is the spot. Like, there'd be times you're on shop tours and you go on the ride through the cities and you'd be like, we're coming back to this tonight when no one's here.
Yeah.
And I do see potential in this or whatever. I think I always liked bike riders like Edwin and Bob Sherbo. And I thought Bob is a perfect example of like someone who put together video parts perfectly.
Yep.
Bob,
I agree,
was very good. But he wasn't the best trick guy. He wasn't the best, like, freestyle or whatever.
Right.
But Bob was the best at spot selection and doing what needed to be done on each spot.
Yep.
And Bob and I rode very differently, obviously, but I had a good appreciation for like, less is more.
Yes.
And like,
simple.
Again, not the same guy. Like I did a bar spin in every single trick.
Yeah.
I did a tail up in every single trick. I understand.
Less is more.
Yes, I get it. But I think like you'd go to a spot and I did have a time where I was doing every trick, and because I was started to become this tech guy, like everyone wanted to do, like saw these tech lines. You got to
do the bar into the manual to the
you have to do it all.
Yeah.
And I could, and so I would. And but I think I had appreciation for the way that they would be like spot like. He wouldn't double up, triple up on tricks. Like once you did it, it's done in that part. And I think I just learned like to kind of try and build a video part that way. And like if you did something one way, if I did an ice pick twice in the same video, it was like 2 tricks that had never been done, or one would be switch footed. Like you had to have difference in every single clip. And you watch some people's videos and you're like, they'll, I don't know, they'll do Smith 180s 10 times. And I'm like, if you do a Smith 180 off this building, you can probably do it off the ledge. Like,
that's an awful lot of Smith hards, dude.
I know. So anyways, I don't know.
How did you? I'm curious about your actual origin story, your transition from racing, because like everybody who grew up racing has a certain level of bike control that's just unreal.
And I think the best bike riders in the world came from racing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
And then, so what was your
There's a few
transition to
exceptions.
street?
I always did both. I did it just that, you raced on whatever Wednesday night and Friday night, and you would ride. So am I not supposed to ride bikes the rest of the week? I just rode BMX. I just was a BMXer. I did all of it. And then our track.
You grew up in Austin?
Corpus Christi.
Okay.
So South Texas.
Yeah, Corpus Christi, Texas. I knew that. I knew that from from your intro on Road Fools, where you're standing in the grass. And I'm Aaron Ross. I'm from Corpus Christi, and I'm 21 years old or something.
Yeah,
back
everyone's like, where is this? I mean, the first Road Fools, I was 18.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I left high school to go to Road Fools. So the track kind of closed. Not like had nothing to do with me, or it just was like, it's hard in those little cities.
Did you have success in racing at all?
Yeah, I was pretty good at racing. I didn't train to race, but I'm still today like very quick on a BMX bike. I still race weekly. I don't race. I still go to the track weekly. This past year is the least amount I've been to the track in my life, but I've actually been going the last few weeks and like getting back into it. And
sick.
I disappeared for like 6-8 months just doing all this house stuff, being gone. And there's a kid at the track, full training. We do have an Olympic guy at our track.
Yeah.
Did never make the Olympics, but was on the like U.S. team. He's the dude. I've known him since he was 10.
What's his name?
Tanner Sebesta. T-Bone.
Okay.
Tanner Sebesta.
T-Bone.
He's quick. He's won nationals. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But there's a young kid who's 15, 16 maybe. I don't know exact age, but he'll be excited that I'm bringing him up. But he's fast, and he's like mains at every national now, getting the sponsors. He's quick. I disappeared for like 6 months. I've been like doing other stuff, not riding bikes, not doing a good job riding street either, like just busy. I mean, I still ride, but just not as much as I should or would like to. Came out to the track once. He was gone one night, which was great. So I got a warm-up night. Came back the next week. He was there at the end of his training and everything, but I got him twice to the first turn. And I was like, I went over and I'm like, you don't understand what this means to me, because I follow him online. I know what he's doing, and I know he's fast. Like I've been fortunate to be fast, and I've always, it's just kind of BMX racing is probably the most natural part of my bike riding.
Nice.
I grew up doing it. I'm quick. I'm pretty good at like maneuvering the bike. Like, so I have, can pump and pull. And anyways, I was very proud of this moment. This all just happened like the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I beat this kid and he was not psyched.
What's his name?
Not
T-Bone, right?
Not T-Bone. I want to confirm his name. So you have to...
When you say young kid from Texas, I think of Stone Kepler.
Stone is good.
Yeah, but not the fast kid.
There's two different kids at the track. Yeah, so it's Carson. That's what I thought.
Carson.
But we're going to have to act like I knew it. So Carson at the track, we'll have to confirm. Make me look good there. Because I see him every week. But there's two different kids. There's a Carson and there's a Connor. Or maybe Carter. There's three different C's. And I'm bad. I get them confused.
Yeah.
Anyways, make me look good. Carson's quick. Carson Noon, I think is his last name. Nunn or Noon. I don't know how to say it. But he's quick. And I got him a couple times. And I get it. He's 16. Like I'm like 20 years older than this guy, and I'm like, I beat the 16-year-old, but I'm like, no, he's not like kind of a 16-year-old. He's quick.
He's fast.
And yeah, he's like making mains. Like he won the Austin National. Like
What does that mean, making mains? I'm unfamiliar.
It just depends on how many people in your class, but like there could be, some age groups. There's 100 kids or 50 kids show up to a national, so they have to be whittled down to 8. And so making main's a big deal.
Making main is making the top
the final 8.
Okay,
yeah, and they'll race Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So like there's a main each day.
Okay.
Different groups, different classes, and like you could race cruiser, you can race 20. So Carson's fast. He won the Austin National. He's making mains all over the country.
Dope.
And
but let it be known that Aaron Ross
got him.
Beat him.
I got him. And but I did the nice older thing. Went up to him and said, "Hey, I don't think you realize I've had a crazy year of just being busy. I've missed coming to the track. I've been watching you train with Tanner, who's like top level professional BMX racer training program. I know you're faster than me." And I was blown away. He did say, "Oh, I've been training all day and I'm burnt out today." And I was like, "Oh, that's fine. I'll take the win."
Yeah.
But I did the nice. I was like, "Hey man, like you don't know what this means to me, and I know like I'm within months of you being gone." like, and I'll never beat you again. And I've been beating you for years, and I'm, and he's, so it meant a lot.
Yeah.
And it also was motivating coming off a year where you didn't get to go to the track much to finally be like, well, I still kind of, okay, I can do this. I can do this.
I can just
and then he was like,
you just going, yes.
But he did go, but it was nice. He was like, well, you're just like a better bike rider than me. And I was like, well, I'll take it. His dad always comes up and is really nice. It's like, keep beating him. Cause we're motivating him too.
Right. Yeah.
The older guys. And I do understand.
That's a good dad.
Yeah.
Keep kicking his ass.
Yeah, his dad's awesome. Yeah. And I think the BMX scene, a lot of these guys, like his dad is like knows Tina at Empire. He's like, he grew up in the scene. He knows who Tina is. He knows who Empire is. And so like kids in Austin, I think even the racers, they have a good grasp of like bike riding in general and BMX. It's not just like this Olympic sport. It's like, hey, let's go ride the trails. Let's go ride the other things. And like they spend time at the skate park. So
are those trails still going in Austin?
They're still going, though. They've had a rough run the last few weeks. We've been trying to – not we. I'm not going to take no ownership of this.
No dig, no
They
right.
have been never – yeah. I actually saw one of the main guys the other night. We talked for a long time, and I think at this point they're like, Aaron's not going to come dig. Yeah. And that's okay. I've always been good at supplying the trails with things and being supportive of the trails.
Yeah.
But, I've always spent a lot of my time trying to hustle doing all this other stuff. And so you just like – it's hard to –
It really is. It's a labor
hard.
of love.
Yeah.
Even just doing like this, this is just, it's a lot of work to set up a podcast, but you do it because you want to. No dig, no right.
Yeah. Hey, it is. It's not that none of this is easy. And that's the thing. Kids are always like, do more of this, do more of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you just don't get like these dudes. Like, I'll give it to the filmers. Like the filmers guys get it. The ride, like there's a passion there. You obviously have a passion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as you get older, like life, it's how do you like, pros and cons of life and like the busyness and like financially supporting your life.
Mm-hmm.
And like people like Devin Hutchins have been helping Chase and I out for 20 years now, or, 18 years, or Chase 20 years. And it's like that's a labor. One, it's a friendship. We have a team, it's a team thing, but it's like, how do you get people to stay motivated and like get the filmer out? The filmer at some point is like, man, I'm not doing the tricks. Like I'm not getting anything from this. And like, it's not only can be a job for the rider, but it's also like an outlet. And so there's, so you guys, thank you guys. We wouldn't be here without y'all. And like, no matter how
all the filmers out there,
no matter how good of a bike rider Garrett is, if no one points that camera at him, he would be in New Jersey and we'd never know who he is.
Right. Yeah.
And so, and you know what, there's a lot of those guys that exist, there's a lot of guys, that do exist in this world that are like some of the most amazing athletes, runners, bike riders, skateboarders, and they just don't get the opportunity to be in front of the right person.
Right.
And some of those guys, like, I mean, I'm convinced that like the greatest, runner is not running, because like he just didn't have the opportunity or didn't care to continue and didn't realize how good, he didn't realize his own talent. And don't get me wrong, some of that is like, if you really want it, you'll chase it. But at the same time, I think there's some people out there in the world, just skateboarders, bike riders, that are just like, like I didn't have a scene. Yeah. And just moved on. And
exactly.
So
like my hometown got no spots.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody to film me. That's a common thing that I hear is like, I want to get sponsored and shit, but I don't have a filmer. Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know what to say to that.
And it's tough because it's like, well, how many times can you put your phone on the ground and like film something? So it is hard. Like, I mean, I got out of Corpus quick because, I still have love for Corpus. I have family there, I have friends there, but at the same time, like that, if I wanted to make this happen, I had to get to Austin. And I was very lucky to have Austin, Texas 3 hours away.
Nice.
Because if I lived in Kansas, I would have been in California, I bet. Maybe not because Austin was so big at the time, like the scene was. But like say I was from, like Tom Dugan, they all lived in, all his crew, the Kansas house, all lived in Kansas. And they were just like, peace. We're going to Austin. Like, where do you have to go to make this happen?
Did you move to live in Austin at a certain point?
I graduated high school, went on Road Fools 14. Everything sort of blew up, started making money.
Dude, I have a visual in my head of Road Fools 14, and it's so trippy.
And then I basically spent a year at home traveling, spent like months at a time or a month at a time in Austin, but like a lot of traveling, filming different videos, and like kind of this was the beginning. Yeah. And then August 1st, the year after high school, so I'd have been turning 20, no, maybe 19, no, 20. It was, because I graduated in May, I was 18, 19 August, and then one whole year. So turning 20, moved to Austin, moved in with Chase Hawk, Devin Hutchins, Adam Roy.
All in the same house.
All in the same house.
Nice.
And,
okay.
And then.
Damn, so yeah, Adam and you guys go way back. That's crazy.
We all go. I mean, like BMX gave me the life that I have today. Like it gave me everything. And I know that, and my dad, mom know that. Like my mom is pretty, like, hey, that's cool, but like you don't have to like ride anymore. It's just dangerous, and it was always dangerous, and it, gave my mom a lot of like, I don't think she's ever said this, but like gave my mom a lot of anxiety. Like she came to watch me at the X Games once. This was like before the anxiety was like known for everyone, just like the definition of what it was. My mom, like, now looking back, I'm like, damn, my mom like was like had gnarled like her stomach. It was like she couldn't watch, and like, and I'm just like, man, my mom, like, she just, she's a mom. She doesn't see anyone get hurt. Mm-hmm. My dad has always loved it. He came from like, an extreme background of like motocross and like extreme jet skiing and all this stuff. So like, this is like, this is so cool. Yeah. Like everything about it. But like my dad always had a very good, or my parents always had like a good work ethic for me about it. Like I'd miss family events and my parents wouldn't tell me about them because they were like, you need to go on the trip.
Nice.
And I'd be like,
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, like, now you look back, you're like, oh, I wish I was there for this or that maybe. But at the same time, like, I'm 18 years into a BMX career, and like part of that is because like my parents, still to this day, my dad will be like, hey, you should come down. They're doing something at the skate park. Like, you should be here. Not because I'm famous or not. It's just like, how do you stay ingrained into this thing that you helped build? And also, how do you like... And my parents always were good about like, this is your job. You got to do it. Like, and like you have to travel and you have to be out there and you have to do the best. And I was just lucky to be pretty good at it. Like all the time, as in like, it was, BMX came kind of easy in a way. Like that doesn't mean the tricks came easy. That didn't mean that like spots and like lines and stuff, like I'd spend 6 hours on one trick. Like that didn't come easy, but I was, fortunate to be a pretty good bike rider and have pretty good eye for like some things. But the work ethic came from my parents who like always had jobs, always hustled. And like, part of that's the reason how I got into real estate is how hard my parents worked. And like, not like we didn't come from anything crazy good by any means, but my mom was like an accountant. She was like, this is what you do. This is, ways to like make things last longer and be better. You have to go to work. Like, and so I always, still to this day, like, I'll get in the van and I'm like, and I never wanted it to be a job. I never thought of this as a job, but I knew how to make it last longer and I knew what you had to do. And I mean, I'll get in the van with the guys. I'm like, hey, you guys got to wear a Sunday shirt because you're a billboard and that's how we sell more bikes and that's how we do more trips. Yeah. And like when you tell it to them in such a, like in the dumbest, most blunt way, they're like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, yeah, if you sell all these shirts that you're wearing, like we can go on another trip. Yeah. And like, some people don't like that. Like some people are like, well, I want to wear this, vintage stuff. Like I want to wear this. And I'm like, I get it. Like who doesn't want to wear what they want to wear? But at the same time, work with the companies to make stuff you like so that we can wear them, because you're literally, your job is, it's different in the NFL. The NFL doesn't have to do this. Like Odell Beckham Jr. or Tom Brady doesn't have to sell anything. All he has to do is literally throw a touchdown. And he is like looked at as like the best person in the world. Yeah. Skateboarders, bikers, action sports guys, like you don't get to do that. You have to like sell product. Yeah. And Tom Brady doesn't have to sell anything. He literally just has to like just perform. Yeah. And like perform. He takes on more. He does sell things. But he doesn't have to. Yeah. And neither does all these other. They get paid enough to not have to. We have to. We have to like get you guys to buy things and like support us and like follow us and like it's. I mean, I probably said this on the other podcast that you already listened to, but like, we're the original influencers. Yeah. We are literally the original action sports are the original influencers. And if y'all didn't support us, we would not be here. Yeah. And that's it. Like now, so I don't know. So we're not even pro bikers. We're just influencers.
You're a pretty damn good influencer.
So anyways, I could ramble all day. We could talk all day.
I'm here for it.
So what do you want to know?
I want to know, I mean, I would love to know, like at the peak of Aaron Ross's BMX career, how much you were making.
Oh man, do it. Dang, straight to it.
You don't have to answer it,
Oh no, I don't really mind now. I think I'd say outside of royalties and outside of other stuff, there was a couple of years where I made like, 120, 140, 150.
Fucking awesome for BMX. Dude.
Yeah.
And in living in
outside
Texas
of royalties. And some of those years I made, so there was a handful of years you could average that I made a good amount of money for a long time. Yeah.
And it's 1099, right? You're an independent contractor for these companies.
Which is hard to buy houses that way.
Yeah.
But I
sure.
was, if you want to get anything done, you can find someone to help you get it done.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had a lot of, I've been very lucky to have my parents who like weren't into real estate. My mom was very smart, but like that was scary to them. Not real estate, but just like bunch of real estate.
Yeah.
Leveraging yourself so bad.
That if the shit hits the fan, the shit, it's
And
dangerous.
so, and I think like, but you can always put yourself in a good position. Also, living in a good city like Austin is, it's only getting better.
It only got better. Yeah.
And
Especially the pandemic boosted Austin
yes,
to the top.
and which now the houses are sitting. Not that it's a problem because I have a good situation with all mine, but like it's not always a foolproof plan, but
Right.
it does work well.
It's one of the best plans.
Yes.
So that's interesting. So your mom's an accountant. Is she the one that helped you take your 1099 and get approved to get a traditional loan? Like, how'd you buy your first house?
My first house, I was pretty young. My parents actually co-signed. And so
Okay.
that was I couldn't have done it without them. Even
Right.
though I was lucky to have a huge down payment. I had a lot of cash. I technically made a lot of money.
Yeah.
My dad is self-employed and he works, he does really well for himself now. They like always had the same jobs, but as you get better and you just get like a bigger network, our network of people, my dad and mom do really well now.
What does your dad do?
He's a service guy for an automotive, Hunter Engineering, so he installs automotive equipment. So like everything that works on your car, lifts it up, tire machines. My dad's a big garage guy,
Sick.
has made jetpacks to fly around the lake.
Yeah, I saw about that.
He's a wild guy.
That's awesome.
But like my mom was always a big, maybe you know this, but Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
So, guy helps you like get out of debt and like, save
your
money.
money.
And like,
Don't
my
use
mom
credit
was very
cards.
traditional when it came to that stuff, like pay everything off, owe nobody nothing, and like save.
Yeah.
Save.
Play it safe.
And I was like, yeah, but I got to like do things to make money if I don't want to go get a job.
Right.
And I like was lucky to not have a traditional job. So then I wanted to find ways to make money in a non-traditional way, even though like in our world now, that is a traditional way. It's just like, it depends on where you come from and what you want. And so like still to this day, I'm like, yeah, we're buying another house, Dad. We're going to do this. We're going to renovate. And my dad's like, you can see the fear on my dad's face. The support is there and he's there. And like, he'll help me put in cabinets, tear down walls. Like my dad is there. There's been times my parents have driven 11 out of 12 weekends up to help us with projects.
Nice.
3.5 hour drive. They'll be there by 10 a.m.
But they love it.
Love it. And they don't want $1.
And they get to see their granddaughter.
Yeah, they get to see. They just love. My dad just one of those people that like he can literally build, make, do anything.
Sick.
And he loves to be able to show people that.
Yeah.
And not in like a show off way. He just loves to be able to be like, oh, they did it on a TV show. We did it too. And he doesn't need any.
Shout
He
out
doesn't
to
need
Pops.
anything for it. He just like, wow, we could do that. I'm like,
I love
okay.
that.
And so I think having a good support system like my parents and my mom being able to be like, okay, so like what you're going to do is you're going to do a short-term mortgage on your house when I'm 22. You're making enough money. She knew how much money. She was helping me with it. She saw all the money, or she knew what was going on. And at that time, I actually wasn't making a crazy amount of money. The money when I bought the first house, it just was enough to like buy a house and had a down payment.
Yeah.
But it came the next 3 or 4 years. I like did really well with my Etnies shoes.
Oh shit! And this is like timed out perfectly because this is after the market crash at
Yeah.
So
I bought
when did you
like
buy your first one?
2010 maybe.
Yeah, dude.
2009,
Wow. Yeah.
10,
Talk
11.
about timing. That's fucking perfect.
And then I ended up, buying another condo and stuff. And I just would like do these short-term mortgages and like pay extra every month. And like, I didn't have like, and not that this is everyone's problem, but I didn't do anything else. I didn't drink. I didn't do any drugs. So like all the money that I could have been spending other places, I just put towards this. I didn't have like, and not that it's something's wrong with doing it the other way. This is just how I did it. And like, I also just wanted to give if I was being very honest, the way I didn't do it to then get to where I am today. I did it on like my entire goal was that when bike riding ended, I owned a house that I had a lot of money in.
Yeah.
And I could go one or two ways. I could sell it, use that money to move back to Corpus and like get a real job, but I would have this huge like jump
Safety
start.
net. Yeah.
2, I would have paid off the house enough to where I could get 2 roommates.
Yeah. And
Have them pay me. I'd live for free and I get to travel and continue to ride bikes.
It's called house hacking.
And so it wasn't that I was like, okay, I'm going to buy this house, buy another house and like become this real estate person. It was just that I was like, how do I make the transition to like traditional life after BMX easier?
Yeah.
And like, I was way ahead on that idea. I mean, I would have guessed that I wouldn't have got to where I am today and I would have just sold houses and like, or sold them all, got chunks of money and moved on.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate to keep grinding and like doing other stuff and like doing other food truck business, just other things. And so now it's all kind of like, and now then I met my wife who was into real estate, and then she was into development. And she does way better than I'll ever do.
How did you meet her?
My Devin Hutchins' sister's best friend is Bethany's sister.
Okay.
And she, we like went to Topgolf one night with Bethany's, or with,
The
Chelsea,
crew, yeah.
the crew. And she was like, you should meet my sister. And I was like, okay. And here we are all these years later. She was like, oh, you're right. We should meet
How
each
long
other.
ago was this?
9 years ago, in October. So we've been married for I guess this was our 7th anniversary. So we've been, we've been together for a while.
That's great.
And she was always, where we are alike the most, is we don't have this fear of like, we are excited to try and do like weird, unique ways to make money.
Yeah,
so like
that.
houses and like flipping things, and like we aren't, we're both on the same page. We're like, I don't really. And I actually talked to someone about this the other day, and I maybe said it on other things, but BMX money came so easy, and I don't mean like, oh, I'm so great and money came easy. It just appeared in my account. Like they just gave it to you for riding bikes. It's not like I had to like go and dig a hole to like earn the money.
Right.
And then it was like, well, that's my money. I dug that hole and I earned it. I kind of always saw it. It was like, well, I rode bikes and like now I'm good at it, and they like gave me money. So therefore the money was easy to spend.
Yeah.
And not like I didn't buy ridiculous things. It was just easy. Like it was all this mathematical like internet thing that like the money was just in these accounts. You just like transferred to someone else. Like
It doesn't feel real. It's
it doesn't feel real.
Let's play with it.
It's like the way people talk about Bitcoin money. Like it doesn't feel real. It's play money. And so mentally now it's different because now you have I have a daughter, and like things are a little different. But at that time you definitely felt like, okay, they're giving it to me to ride bikes. It's not going to be that weird. Like I'm not holding it. It's not like I have a case of it in my house where I have to walk around it and it's like annoying, or like I'm like, that's a lot. It's like, well, I could just like magically transfer it over here and this property becomes mine. So they say.
Yeah.
So they say.
Yeah.
And so I think it was like easy come, easy go type of deal, but it worked out in a good way. And like, I don't think that's barely cocky. It's just like, dude, we're so lucky to ride bikes and then to give us money. So like, I'm going to try the hardest I can do to make the most of it.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
And now it's been fun to be able to like use that to do other things that you're actually more passionate about. Like I've, invested in like a bike shop in Austin, which is like cool to be a part of something that I like believe in, and like get a, kind of check off all these dreams of
What's
like
it called?
The Bicycle House. It's actually right next to Empire, but it's a like BMX racing, high-end road bike shop.
Okay.
And so like they don't really do BMX at all.
You're not competing with Empire.
No, and like the
like
owner is like a 5-time, Olympic mechanic, like BMX racer. He's
Sick.
an old friend of, I've known him since I was a kid racing. And so it's like Tina and Tom know him at Empire. So it's like they're literally on the same street. And
what does that look like if it like I invested in a bike shop? Like that sounds cool, but what does that actually mean? You cut a check?
Yeah, I just gave a check to support them opening it, and then like with the hopes that it'll come back.
Yeah.
And like, at some point, which
Is
the
it
shop's
like-
doing great.
Is it written out? Like, okay, I give you this much, and then I expect.
Well,
X
they
amount in
were
return?
pretty legit about it. Like they had a very legit investor packet, and like they sent out to a bunch of people. Like people from Austin FC are like involved in the shop. So like there's a very big crew of people that are like a pretty big deal in and around town.
Yeah.
The guy from the Breakfast Club, which is like a big road bike breakfast ride. Like they do clothing, they do like gear and stuff. Like he's involved. So it's like we have a good group of like investors and owners that are like popular enough to bring more people to like the shop and stuff. Empire was obviously around before I was, or Trend and then Empire, so it's not like
I think I've been in Empire. I went out to. So Mediocre at Best got nominated for NOR Cup in 2014, 13. We got beat out by Market Zero.
Yeah. At least that's a good one to get beat
juggernauts.
out by. I know. That's a good one to get beat out by, though.
Straight Hollywood production with Chad Curley and Dennis and all them.
That
but
was a crazy video.
I got to step inside an Empire, and that was pretty cool.
Nice. So you probably would have went into the big one. I got one.
Yeah.
I probably do need some water.
Yeah, but I am curious about like your history with Empire, and how long it's been around, and maybe a brief history of Empire BMX. Because
okay, brief history.
Yeah.
Owen Williams is Tina and Tom's son. And in the very first, I guess not the first, but the second Empire, there's photos of all of us holding Owen as a baby, and Owen now has his driver's license. So Empire's been around for 18 years, maybe.
That's awesome.
Give or take. So I guess maybe they've already been around 20 years. I don't know. No, they haven't been. But Empire was, so Jed Rogers, one of my good friends from Corpus Christi, moved to Austin as a BMXer, was on Trend, was sponsored by Trend, an early Empire rider. He saw me in Corpus and was like, there's this kid down in Corpus. You got to meet him. You got to see him. You got to start filming him.
You got to see him. He's doing bar spins and tail whips
Yeah.
and manuals. It's
And
awesome.
Tina and Tom are pretty, like, patient with people. Like, as in, like, they don't jump all over. Like, you could, Garrett could walk into Austin and say no one knew who Garrett was. They wouldn't sponsor him. They would wait, like, a year. And they want to see loyalty. They want to see, But they were filming a video at the time, and I was hanging out with a lot of the right guys, I guess you could say. And so I guess sort of Joel was like pitching me, or Jed had kind of already pitched me. Joel's starting to film me. And I still am like filming for this video part, but I'm not on Empire yet. And I'm not necessarily maybe going to like.
Were you sponsored at this point?
Not for the first Empire video.
Okay.
I think towards the end I got like sponsored by FBM and then was sponsored by Empire. But they definitely like, I'm filming for a video and Joel's still like convincing them that I need to be in the video. And they're like, we don't know him.
We'll see.
and then obviously it kind of worked out. So Empire, they're like family. Tom's a little quiet, hangs out in the back. They still work every day. They're the only two people that pack packages. So if you buy anything from Empire BMX, Tom or Tina, who have been doing it since Trend, Tina's family actually like owned Trend, I believe. And Tina's been packing BMX packages for, 25 years now.
I feel like they were early on into the mail order.
Yes. So Trend was one of the early mail orders in the back of like old ride BMXs where it was the dark pages that Trend.
Because you're saying Trend, I've never seen it or heard of it.
If you saw it, you might remember it. But Trend was the mail order Empire. So basically that's what the sticker said. It's a Trend.
Okay.
We're the mail order Empire.
But that is Empire.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they couldn't keep the name. The family wouldn't give them the name. And so whoever wouldn't give Tina and Tom the name Trend. And so they basically took Empire off of the sticker and were like, we'll be Empire. And then they have a great relationship with, Joe and Taj back in the day. So like they were the place to get T1s and like, and so they're just good people. They're just really good people. Love BMX. They are like, core BMXer to their, Tina never really rode, but she's been in the BMX world for 25, 30 years now. And she's like the second mom. She's like takes care of Chase. She takes care of me. Takes care of Brett Silva now. Like she's like literally there to like take care of us.
Every scene needs
even
a
my
Tina.
Parents come in and still to this day, my dad will be like, thank you for, like my dad's like can cry a lot. He'll cry. And he'll even be like, well, just thank y'all for what y'all did for Aaron. And I'm like, Dad, dude, that's like 15 years. Like, it's like, and not that he'll, but he's just choked up because I think this isn't easy. Like doing BMX or doing any professional sports, not easy. Like this is hard. And like, it takes family and it takes crews and like, you have to make good family inside of your sport and stuff. And like, and really you have to think like, there's so many great BMXers that exist, but how many off the top of your head are the ones that are still doing it that like have that support?
Right.
You look at, there's so many people and, maybe, I don't know, whatever, but Zach Gerber, for instance, one of the best bike riders of all time.
Yep.
And like, I don't know how he played his cards. And I know there's, you could say all you want to say, but like every video part that guy puts out has always been some of the best video parts of our entire generation.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, whether it was him self-inflicted or like people just didn't like vibe with him or whatever it may be, he doesn't have that same like, reputation as like a Dak or a Nathan when like he was good enough to be on those trips and like hang out with those guys. But obviously like something didn't click somewhere. And, I think like it takes a lot to be those guys, you know, like, and, so yeah,
it's more than just being able to do the tricks. You got to be, I don't know, like a good person to be in a van with for an extended period of time.
One of your locals here, like no longer local, but like Casey Badger is the first person who'll say that. Why was Casey Badger one of the most followed, like copied BMX riders of all time? Well, he's cool.
Yeah.
He was cool. And he could do a couple tricks that were better than other people. He does the best X-ups and best turndowns maybe ever.
Sure does. Yeah.
But he didn't bring a ton more than those few things.
Yeah.
But he was super cool.
Yeah.
And like people wanted to go on trips with him. People wanted to be around him. And then you meet teams where like, yeah, we just didn't really get along with that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and you know, I always liked Mark, what's his name? Mark
Burnett?
Mark Burnett.
Love Mark
he was on Sunday. He was like,
Yeah.
Mark Burnett's one of the best bike riders. He's young. Like, why is he not doing stuff? You know, like,
Yeah.
and I don't want to get into any of that, but like, you gotta like be awesome and treat people good. There's a lot more to this than just like being the best bike rider. Like
100%.
Mark is the best bike rider, and he's like still to this day one of the best bike riders. And you're like, man, why is he not getting the opportunity to like do? Why can't we see more of him?
Right.
And I, you know, whether or not that's self-inflicted or something else,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Or maybe it's his choice. There's some people like Ian Swartz was just like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I
It's
just
so
like,
trippy.
that's enough of me, and I'm out, and like that's it, and I'm gonna go be a farmer. And
Dude,
like,
let's talk about that. Tell me because Ian Schwartz is one of my favorite influences. He was one of the dudes that like made me want to get a free coaster. He was early on the free coaster game, and then so I wanted to get in. And then maybe 3 or 4 years of being in the industry, I was like, where'd he go? Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, he literally.
Tell
I
me the
think there
story.
was a mixture of stuff. I think like, you know, I was on some of those trips, and we always got along pretty good. I think I was a little bit someone he liked and appreciated, and like as a friend, but also like he didn't love. I don't want to say he didn't love me because that's not the right thing, but it's like we were different. Like I was like this loud, obnoxious, like colorful human being that wants to talk to everyone, and he's very quiet and very like,
Reserved.
yeah, and just like, oh yeah, like I just sort of like, well, that's a little bit much for me. I just want to like do these like cool tricks, and he's a cool guy, and I'm not necessarily a cool guy. I'm just like a get it done, have fun, do it all. Like if I woke up in the morning and wanted to ride mountain bikes, we're gonna go ride mountain bikes. Like I wasn't like in a box. You couldn't like.
That's what's up.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
and I think Ian always appreciated that about me, but at the same time, you know, we were different. And I think he just sort of like couldn't really get out of BMX what he needed to stay motivated and stay in it.
Yeah.
Which was probably a little bit financially, and also just like, okay, if you're not can't get me the money, I want to see the entire world. And if you can't show me the world, I'm just done.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go start a life and do something else. And like,
Yeah.
and I think he had some like ties to some like, you know, farming and some other stuff that in his background. And I think he went and started his own farm, and he's like, you know,
I kind of
relatively
fucking love that. I
totally
respect the shit out of
There's
that.
nothing wrong with that. I just think that like if BMX could have paid him more money to keep him interested, he would have stayed.
Yeah.
And because I don't think he never really had like bad injuries or anything. I think maybe he hurt his knee once, but like it wasn't like what's his name? What's the other guy that rode for Sunday? The wall ride guy,
Garrett Reeves?
Garrett Reeves.
Yeah.
Garrett Reeves was torn between just getting hurt all the time,
Yeah.
and then financially couldn't do it with both. And I think there's people like myself, like I'm someone who has to like fully immerse myself into it to be into it.
Yeah.
And if I can't, then I'm like half in and half out.
Right.
And like, if that's the case, someone like Garrett Reeves was like, yeah, I like am hurt all the time. I can't fully do this. I have jobs. I have other stuff. And I think that makes it hard for people. And I think like people want to be able to like, I am a professional bike rider.
Right.
And that's all I do. And if
Yeah.
you can't do that, like, I think you just lose interest. And like,
That is the goal, dude. Like you're young and you're learning all the tricks, and you're like, when I grow up, I want to be a pro bike rider,
Yeah.
and make a living. And then you kind of like, I don't want to be pessimistic, but it's way harder. There's a very few people that I see that are like pro BMX riders and only ride to make a good living. You know, like I
Yeah.
don't think it's that.
It's-
what are your thoughts on that? How attainable is it for young kids these days? Like,
well, it's so different today.
Yeah.
It's so different. Like I think with the internet and like followers and YouTube, so many people can make. I mean, we were just talking about people before that like maybe aren't the most traditional bike riders, and like, but they're making living on YouTube.
Right.
So you can like, I mean, Adam LZ, everyone love or hate him. That dude made
Love.
$1 million off bike riding.
Yeah.
No one liked him.
from
No one.
YouTube, LZ?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm throwing out numbers. I don't know what he really did, but like
Yeah.
that's how he got to start. People didn't support him. People didn't like him. I mean, maybe he wasn't like top tier BMX level rider, but like,
Dude, he's good.
yeah, he's good. He's still
Yeah.
good. He's better than like the average bike
Yeah.
rider.
And he has a personality, and he's willing to put himself out there
Yes.
and make the YouTube.
And so like
that's a lot.
him, for example, he did make a lot of money.
Yeah.
LZ BMX like made a lot of money. I don't know what those numbers are. He'd probably tell you, but I know he made a lot of money. And no one. I always was a supporter of that. Like people always thought I didn't like LZ because he used some of my bike stuff, and I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm always a supporter of a hustler. Like
hold on, what is this? He used some of your bike stuff?
He did like a ride interview or something back in the day or something where he said, the reason I got popular quick is because I just tagged Aaron in all my first videos and they sort of blew up. And he was, he's like, which would technically be like looked down upon. I didn't care because you could say that some of the reason that I got more popularity is because Adam LZ was talking about me and riding some of my parts. And so I think it takes, it's good and bad publicity. You could do it all. And I didn't have a YouTube channel.
Kind of smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had no involvement. Then there was always the apology video that was very famous. Like he was always supposed to apologize, or I was always supposed to apologize to him for he broke my handlebars, and it was like a big deal. That was like one of his most popular YouTube videos.
Interesting.
And I never would apologize to him. But last year he did actually break a pair of handlebars or something weird happened. And I got him a pair of handlebars at Empire, my signature bars, rode on them and sent it to him. And he so we talk a little. He actually
would you write on it? Would you write?
I don't remember what I write on. I really don't remember. No, I didn't. Because I've always stayed pretty true that I'm not apologizing.
Yeah. For what? What would you have to apologize for? For your signature bars breaking?
Yeah, the bars broke. I don't know how they broke. No, and it's always been a little still to this day in comments. I'll comment on one of his car videos, and some BMX kid who's now a car person will be like, "You owe him an apology," and I'm like,
you.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't, but I'm not gonna give it. And then he actually messaged me the other day. He wants to play a game of bike in 2023.
Sick.
So we might be playing a game of bike in 2023.
I love that.
So I said, just tell me when and where, and we'll figure something out.
I love that.
We'll stage it because I'll have to win. And we'll have NDAs signed and contracts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's how the big dogs do it. Yeah. So we're gonna do that. So I'll win, of course.
Naturally, you heard it here first.
I'll win, and it'll also be totally legit, and no one will know any.
Yeah.
So
beautiful. So all right. So first, the game of bike makes me want to talk about in the Dawn on the Streets video. You talked to Dan Crook and talked about that game of bike, but we'll talk about that. But while we're still on the topic of becoming a professional or earning a living through the BMX world, what is the path that you would tell a young kid to do?
I have two things I tell all kids and parents, because parents, let me drink some water.
Parents love you.
Parents did like me. I think parents liked me because I was I was like this extreme sport athlete, but I wasn't your traditional maybe covered in tattoos and could scare a parent that their 14-year-old kid was going to go down the wrong path.
Yeah.
And so I didn't drink.
You're a good role model.
Yeah. Just that doesn't mean that I think of myself as being perfect or that I didn't have other things that you should not do or whatever, but just seems okay, it's not that bad. Travis is trying
why haven't you drank or done?
I've drank now at this point, but early on I didn't drink till I was 25 or 26.
Why?
No reason. My parents don't drink.
Nice.
No reason.
Just
there's no
examples. Yeah.
There's no reason.
Word.
There's no religious reason. There's nothing. We just my parents just didn't do it. My dad said he had a lot of friends when he was younger that did stuff, and my dad always had jet skis and always had cars and always built dune buggies, and he spent all his money that he worked on to buy things for fun, and I saw that as an example. So all the money I made I spent on
that's great
things that made me money in the end,
yeah.
or at least tried. Or things that I enjoyed.
So that's your first piece of advice. Young riders, don't drink.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of you should smoke weed. It chills people out. I think it does good. I think drinking, in excess or getting wild, you lose control and it gets people in trouble and it's dangerous. And that doesn't mean I have drank. And I've only drank a handful, not a handful, but a couple handfuls of times over the last, I'd say even over the last, what am I, 36? So I think 10, 12 years. And I think the last time I drank now was, I'm pretty sure it was the initial burn slow trip, which would be 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So and now it's a really fun thing to, give to my friends. Some of my best friends were on the trip and I was went to the bathroom and I was I should just get some margaritas. And I love fruity, funny drinks. And so I came back with a tray of margaritas and I was we're all doing
Here
this.
we go, boys.
And we're going to do it over and over tonight. And I think I only had 3 drinks and that's it. And I do think it's fun. I mean, and that took the night. The night turned, these dudes. But I'm also I drank for 2 hours maybe, done, and we still had 3 hours to go in the night, and I was done. I didn't drink. Yeah, and we walked to the next bar and I never drink again. But then everyone else loses it and they drink all night, and I'm a bad influence.
It's a slippery slope.
It was actually a bad good and bad influence. 2 people on that trip were we're like 30 days into like not drinking. And they're like, I'm never going to drink again. I'm done. And I was like, no, you're drinking tonight. And so that was not good. But I did pay for them to get so wasted that night that it was a reminder of why they do not drink. And then both of them have never drank again.
Fuck yeah.
So,
that's awesome.
You know, sometimes you got to, you know.
You got to overdo it to, you know.
There you go. I just think sometimes, I think with specifically drinking and people that I've, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking within reason. I think you just need to figure out what's important to you in life. And if going out and hanging out with your friends is important, then you should go out and drink with your friends and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But if getting up in the morning and like doing stuff with the early crew is important to you, then you should prioritize that over the night crew.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes get lost. And I think there's been some people that have like gone too far with one and they miss out on the other. And then it causes this bad circle when I'm like, you just need to figure out what time of the day you want to spend your time with the people that are out and about. And, you know, enjoy that and like, you know, prioritize that time. And I think you'll find more happiness. That doesn't mean that like some people that are drinking don't have pure happiness, because I think if that's what you find enjoyment in, that's your happy place. And like, don't drink and drive. Don't put other people in danger. But if you want to be at that 9 a.m. session and you can't be because you're hungover, you're only going to be sad. And like, it's just like,
a cycle.
You know, I think
I've been on both ends of that cycle where I stay up until 5 a.m. and then I'm missing the early. And my dad would always tell me like, wake up early, Robert. Like there's good, like just do something. And then now that I've, you know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I started waking up early and I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. Like,
it is nice
good in the morning, getting shit done is fire.
Yeah. It's nice to get some stuff done. And you feel like you have your whole day to like, you know, you have more time to go ride bikes and do these other things that may not be like job anymore. They might just be like in, you know, a guilty pleasure or like a meditation. Like I think of bike riding as like, I didn't ever realize how much, you know, how important mental health was to people. Because I just was, everything I did was fun. Yeah. Everything I've done for 15 years.
Yeah, it seems like you've been happy.
But I've also got to do bike riding as a job. And so like, you know, and I understand there's not that other people have struggles in that too, but like now that I have like other things, I'm like, man, I need to go ride. Yeah. Like, I'm like, I get why, like now that I don't ride every day and I don't get to ride as much, and I didn't realize how important bike riding was to me, because it was something that just like you did every day. You would almost need breaks from riding because you did it so much. You're like, I just need to sit on the couch and watch a movie. Like, you know, I can't just do this. Chill. And now it's the opposite, where I'm like, I need to get out and like, I need to like sprint as fast as I can, scare myself a little bit, wake myself up and like enjoy it. And like that, you know, and that comes with, you know, all kinds of different hobbies that like whatever it may be. Yeah. So, all
right, so let's bring it back.
All right, bring it back.
You're talking. So you were about to say, and when I talk to kids and when I talk to parents, and parents think I'm a good role model, and then we went off on drinking tangent. But what do you tell these kids and parents?
I've always told parents, there's not every kid's gonna be the best pro bike rider or a pro biker at all. That's not, you know, that's just
just
real.
Facts.
It's a fact. But like any sport or anything, like there's a podcast guy, there's a filmer guy, there's a design guy, there's a company owner, there's 100 different jobs within this industry that you could do, and your son or kid or the actual kid can continue to travel the world and enjoy bike riding. And that might be the like jump start to like him being an architect or him being a famous movie, you know, producer or filmer or whatever.
Joel Moody
or Spike Lee, like you know, all these guys like Joe Simon, all these people were like, this was their start, and they have these free like people to film forever, and like you get to build these projects, and then you take that into the real world, and like, you know, you're ahead of the game. Right. And now you're, you know, Jeff Z always said this. He goes, this is shooting a wedding is like the easiest thing in the world because no one's life's at stake. Yeah. For real. You know, like, dude, you're sitting there and you're like, okay, if I don't catch this bar spin, this guy does over this dumpster off this house. Yes. I'm going to have to ask this guy to do it again. Yeah. Oh, man. And you're like, hey, can y'all just like kiss each other again? Like one more time. And so it's like, it's not life and death. So I think,
I shot Kaczynski's wedding with Jeff Z.
Yeah. Jeff Z shot my wedding. I guess you didn't help him, but Jeff Z shot my wedding. I do love that Jeff Z got to shoot all these famous bike riders, and now he gets to shoot all these famous bike riders' weddings.
Were you there? Maybe that's where we met.
No.
Before. You weren't at Kaczynski's wedding?
I actually saw Kaczynski this past year and had like we're good friends. We talk a lot. Yeah. We traveled a lot when we were on Etnies. When we got off Etnies, it just didn't really cross as much anymore, besides at like events and stuff. But because, you know, I've always been very good friends. I did not go to his wedding, and I apologized to him for that last year. This year.
I I think
It
he'll
was-
forgive you.
He was fine. And
BK's a good guy.
I think I said no. It was a life lesson. I didn't go to his wedding. I was busy and like financially, it was like all over the place. It was just like and I don't plan stuff well, so I didn't plan to go early. So I had tickets work. It was just a whole deal.
Right, yeah.
And I didn't go, and I realized that day why you go. It's not necessarily just to support Brian. It was like, dude, I would have got to hang out with like 100 of my favorite friends.
Yes.
And like it was the first wedding of my like group of friends that wasn't like family or something where I'm like, it's
The
not.
groomsman was BMX legends. Just
I know Dave Fryman
Yeah.
and like Chad DeGroot and all these
Yes.
people that I'm like friends with. I'm in all these group texts with all these, like I'm in group texts with these guys talking shit about football every
Yeah.
week because the Packers and all this stuff. And I'm like, I could have seen them
Yeah.
in person. And so anyways, I actually saw Brian this past year in Chicago, and I was like, hey, I just want you to know. And he was like, what? Like, oh yeah, that was like a long time ago. And I don't and I was like, I know. I just want you to know that was like I learned a lot from not going. And it wasn't that I I didn't choose not to go. I just like didn't make it happen.
Right.
And I was like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll see Brian next week, and I'll continue on with our lives. And anyways, so I learned a lot from that. Where were we at? So parents.
the branching.
We're
off,
all
so-
over the place.
No, we're good. So like when you're talking to a kid whose dream is to be a professional bike rider, you're telling them that there's options. Like
Yeah.
there's
just a lot more to these industries. The same with football or basketball. Like there's basketball coaches, there's football coaches, there's
Right,
like
yeah. There's
there's
photographers, videographers,
everything.
yeah.
You can be anything inside of that industry. If you love sneakers and you want to, maybe you're not going to get to design the newest Nike, but like that doesn't mean you're not going to run the shoe store. Like there's so many jobs, and I don't mean just like a normal shoe store. I'm saying like a shoe business, like
Right.
something. And so I try and tell parents like there's so much more to this, and like there's so much more family involved in this than you would think, or like whatever. And so I think like people get their start in this podcast. I mean, how many people got started in BMX? Like Adam LZ is now like this insane car guy with a crazy YouTube channel.
Who else we got? Adam 22.
Yeah, Adam
Made
22.
something out of nothing. Not the best rider, but one hell of a hustler.
Yep, one hell of a hustler. I saw him at Dawn of the Streets, and we talked for a long time about real estate and just all kinds of stuff.
Is he in real estate too? He's got houses?
No, but he does own a couple houses, but they're all like kind of they're all for like his business, and like like I think him and his chick own a house they rent out for like video shoots and all kinds of stuff, and like
Video shoots.
So it's like video shoots, and so I always tried my hardest to like stay, and I told Adam this like at some point back in the day. I was like, I try and stay clear of like controversial people. Like he was always a controversial figure in BMX. People loved and hated him, and like he never really did me wrong anywhere, and I didn't really. But I also was like, I don't need to go on like. I
This
didn't
is
need
22.
Yeah,
You're talking
and I didn't need to like. But I always liked Adam. But I guess I also am someone who like has an appreciation for people who hustle.
Yeah.
And so I hustle. I like started businesses, lost business. Just all kinds of stuff, and just always hustling. And so I appreciate someone that could do that.
Same.
And like, so we talked for like 30 minutes at Donna Street, just sitting on the ledge, and I was like, man, it's really good to because like there's people like that. Like I may never see Adam again. Like even though like I'm active in BMX, we run in different circles.
Right.
And like I went on a Sunday trip to Mexico City with Adam back in the day, and like so it was or Guadalajara or something. I don't know. But anyway, so it was good to see him and say hi, and like dude's crazy successful, and like
he's got the mind for it. Did you know that so when I graduated, or I was about to graduate college, this is like 2010, my dad was like, you got to get an internship with one of these BMX companies. And so I sent out emails to a bunch of different BMX companies, and then I sent one to Adam 22, and they come up, and he was like, Kanode, you can come intern for me. So I went out to Long Beach, and I stayed at their house, and he taught me how to make a post on WordPress. His buddy Chris Long was like the bully because I was the new kid, like, go grab the bags, Kanode. But whenever I always thought Adam was a dick, but then when I hung out with him and it was just like one-on-one, he's so nice, and he's fucking
I think he's also
guy.
admitted to that. Like getting older, you just kind of chill out, and like you don't get so angry with like all this other stuff, and like you don't get wrapped up in stuff. So I think he
knows I don't know, his Twitter, like he's just a good internet personality, which is
I mean, which is why
not
he's
easy.
I mean, I don't know, I guess he said I guess he posted this recently, so I guess it's not weird, but like, dude, the dude's making like $1 million a month or something, or over that. He was like, and I was just like, oh my gosh, you're just making so much money, like, good for you, whatever, man. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that hated
put more back into BMX, which is dope.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That's what Biz was out there, and he was saying the same thing, and I think like I think people always hated on Nigel, and I was always like, dude, Nigel's like doing it.
Yeah.
If I had anything I'd say to hate on Nigel, and I just bought Nigel's book. I bought Harrison, not
Oh,
Boyd,
sick. Yeah. Harrison Akari. Or no. That's the writer. What is Harrison from Def Grip?
Yeah, I can't think of his last name right now. Why Harrison?
Is it not Boyd?
No.
All right, Harrison.
Yeah, but Harrison. Whatever.
Harrison Def Grip.
I'm gonna look it up. Harrison and I talked a little bit a couple of years ago because we were Boyce. It's not Boyd. It's Boyce. Anyways, I bought the book, and it's just I keep meaning to make a post. I shot some photos of it. Want to make a post about it, but basically what I was trying to say is I'll start with the one thing I would ever hate on Nigel about. I just wish at certain times early on he would have put out more video parts, because I did think Nigel was very good. I think Nigel was great, but he got compared to the Nike team too much. Like, he was compared to Dennis and Garrett all the time, and I think that was unfortunate for him, because he was our and I don't want to compare him to Edwin, because I think that's not necessarily right, but I think he was so good. He has a great style. He picks out spots really well.
Yeah.
But he picks out spots that may entertain you really well, colorful, bright, sharp, and all these great things. And I'm like, dude, he has such a good eye for that kind of stuff, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And but that would be my only thing, is I just wish at times he would put out a little more banger parts when he would do some of these collaborations.
Right.
But
dude, that's a good point. There's not that many,
because the parts he
video
put
parts.
out were so riding with the work was unreal.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch it, which I haven't watched in a couple of years now, but I remember watching, I'd be like, dude, he's shredding.
Yes.
And he is, and I get that maybe I shouldn't put him in a box of he's New York City, that's real street riding, but he was doing quote unquote real street riding.
Yeah.
What you would think the Animal guys or whoever in that New York City, I know there's guys that do more stuff than that now.
Yeah.
But he was great. And I bought the book the other day because I wanted to make a post and be like, hey, this is how you support your friends. When your friends open a coffee shop and you're supposed to go and support local and not ask for something for free.
Right. Yeah.
I was we live in an age now where if you or Chase or someone, I give Chase crap about this all the time, but you got to if your friend's doing a paid promotional post this day and age, he needs your comments. He needs your likes. It's not you don't have to say something. You just literally a like and a thumbs up is we need that stuff. That's how we're we take those insights back to those brands, and that's how we're making a living.
Yep.
It's the same thing as buying the cup of coffee for someone. And I finally have gotten to a place financially where I can I've started buying stuff from people that aren't my sponsors anymore. Not trying to get so much stuff for free. Not that I'm trying to get it, but just people have been hey, I want to send you some stuff. And then before they can send, this happened the other day in the airport. I saw a shoe company guy out of Austin, and I like the shoes. It's like a fancy running shoe, and I don't run or anything, but I like the shoes. I like shoes. And so I saw him in the line, and I could tell it was I had a good guess it was going to be the owner. I didn't know him, didn't know what he looked like, but saw him wearing the shoes. And I was like, hey, I like y'all's shoes. I actually almost bought those the other day. He's like, and you could tell he was like, oh yeah. And I was like, is it your company? He's like, yeah, it's mine. I was like, oh, that's so cool. But we're 3 people behind. I don't know what it is about me, but I know he's going to give me the shoes for free.
Yeah.
We're going to talk. I talk, and we're going to talk, and I'm going to end up getting the shoes for free. And so I buy them before I get to the register. Nice. Online. I buy the shoes, $100. I wanted them a couple months before, just didn't buy them. Go to the table. He's like, oh, I want to send you a couple pairs. And I was like, I already bought them in line. My point is that this is a small company out of Austin. I wouldn't do that with Nike.
Right. Yeah.
They're doing fine.
You can take free shoes
I
from
can
Nike.
take free shoes from Nike. But I want to be a good example for these younger guys that are coming up that are see their friends, Stone or someone getting love or getting a paid thing. And I want that's why you have to support those guys, and likes and comments is the easiest way you can do it. You don't have to spend money.
So easy.
You don't have to spend money anymore to support your friends.
Just tap your thumb.
I literally send group texts out sometimes, and Chase does the same. We all do the same now. We're I don't throw Chase on their bus, but you're hey, can I get comments from you guys?
Yeah.
Because I'm doing a paid post, and I need because paid posts are hard to get love on, because people know they're paid.
Right.
People don't want to give you anything. And I'm so I see you name someone like Nathan or Dak or someone doing
their salty post.
I am on those.
Yeah.
Because I'm you guys this is how you get paid. My comment, my and my insight, or the insights you get from me, is how you're going to continue to do this.
Yeah.
And it's the same as if your friend opens a coffee shop and you can't just go in there and be like, can I get free coffee?
Right.
And I've done that.
You want to
We've
pay
all
full
done
price,
that.
maybe more.
Yeah. And so anyways, I bought the book. I'm going to make a post to be like, hey, like what love or hate him, like Nigel's introduced the world to BMX.
For
and
real.
like, and he does it doing some pretty cool stuff, looking good. He puts on these parties, he puts on this stuff. But I like bought the book, one, because the book's a good looking book. And like, I think it, you know, he's a good representation for us, but I also think I want to be able to tell people like, this is how you support someone. I understand buying a $50 book might be too much. Like you don't have to do that. But these likes and comments are the way that you get to support your guys these days. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier with YouTube. Like there's people that can make a lot of money or a living doing bike riding or skateboarding now, but by not leaving their hometown.
Yeah.
They don't have to leave home. They just can like be online and like get partnerships. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even one of your, like, I feel like, what's his name? The local guy, Eric, is like doing more bike riding today than he, or like more like he's like a bigger deal in BMX or in the
Eric Ballman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like found this niche of making videos and doing all this stuff.
Yeah. His goofy
And
reels.
it's like, he's not even necessarily trying to push the envelope of BMX in any way anymore. He's just like making these reels and people think he's funny. And like, so, but you got to support that. And if you're not into it, then you're not going to be the guy he's trying to like, you know, support. But that doesn't mean that like there isn't guys out there that like need our help to continue to do their like, you know, live their passion or whatever. And I think I've always wanted to support people. And now I feel like trying to teach these younger kids like, hey, yeah, like I get that you might be like, in order to support your friend, you got to like do these things, like, or at least think about doing them. And this is why you're doing them. And so I don't know.
I think that you're hitting on a good point of just, you get what you give.
Yeah.
Like the more support that you show to everybody else, like it's reciprocated.
Yeah.
Whether it might not be direct, but the more good shit that you put out into the universe, it comes back.
I always tried my hardest to like answer every DM. I mean, I know that I haven't answered them all, and I like someone will always be like, you didn't answer mine. I'm, like, I'm sorry. But I would guess of all the years, the 15 years of being on like the internet or where, I bet I'm 80% for every one of them.
That's pretty
like,
good.
Or, you know, 80% of them. Like I talk to everyone. I try and talk to everyone. I like get into some combos. A lot of times it leads to like, can you give me a bike? And I'm like, oh man, it doesn't work that way. But like, I just wanted to have this conversation. And I, you know, but I definitely try to like be, you know, I felt like what would it feel like for you or me or whoever your favorite rider was, like Van Homan talked to me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay in this. Like I'm going to do this. And so I try and, whether I'm not your Van Homan and I'm just your like run of the mill, like pro BMXer, you could have given me any pro BMXer when I was 14, 15. And if you answered, I'd have been psyched. I'd have been more psyched if it was Van Homan, but I would have been psyched if anyone sponsored. And so I just try and think of it like, I could be the biggest, like the lowest guy on your list, but like you're probably psyched. And like that's how I look at it.
We're the age that we're in where you can just like open up your phone and send a message directly, like to Michael Jordan, for example, you know, like in his prime in the 90s, if these things existed and you could just DM him, like imagine Michael Jordan responding to you.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. You know what I will say though? Did you see the video a couple months ago of Michael Jordan, talking about Michael Jordan now? Did you see the video a couple years ago, this year, where the guys were outside the stadium in Charlotte looking for, you know, whatever, one of the Ball brothers who play for Michael Jordan's team. Yeah. They're waiting outside for the cars to come out of the garage, and like, Michael Jordan comes out. And they're like, "Oh my God, it's Michael Jordan! Can I get?" He's like, he literally, I think he says, "Get the fuck out of here!" Nice. And he's far away. And like, I watched this video. They're like, that's how one old Michael Jordan, and also how much Michael Jordan just isn't from the Instagram, or like he is still like, nah, you're kids. I do not care. Yeah, I've got a golf to go play. I'm getting out of here. And those kids are like, damn. And I'm like, now I have like an appreciation. Like Michael Jordan's never changed. Yeah, and good for him. I don't think, whatever. Michael Jordan's a GOAT, but he does not care about kids. He does not care about anyone. And I thought that was cool.
It's a different era.
It is.
Like I think about for BMX, there was an era where it's only magazines.
He comes from the era where he wasn't an influencer.
Right.
He gets paid to do a job. He was the best at doing his job, and he did his job. Yep. But he didn't need to cater to like the kids these days. They have to cater to that. Like you get judged. Like people are like, no one on the internet even got mad at Michael Jordan. They're like, yeah, it's like Michael Jordan. Like he's old. Like who cares? But what were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, that's we're in that age now. And I think that's part of the game is to like what you responding to every single DM. That's advice I would give to riders.
I think like those are the people who pay you. I get it. Like it's the same as me getting in the van and being like, guys, put on one shirt that like gets your job done. Yep. That's your job. Answering the DMs is selling product. Do you need to answer all of them? Maybe they're not all like productive in some way or another, but like that's how you sell product. It's not the only reason I was popular, but it's a big reason of why I had a big following.
Right,
It's
yeah.
because I talk to them all. Anyways, let's see. I got a question for you. Who's your? I don't need to ask you who your least favorite podcast you've done so far is, because that'd be Chase. But but fuck you, Chase. And so and I'm just kidding. But who's been your favorite podcast you've done, and then who's on your list? Who's? Can you just chop that up as our thing? Okay, cool. Who's on your list? Who you got to get?
I want to get Rich Forn, but
Okay.
I almost don't want to get him because he's such an elusive, mysterious creature.
Nah.
Do you know him? Have you?
I have.
know him?
We've yes. Where did we do? Because we worked together for a second on something, or maybe I was just on a trip. But he definitely filmed something. Maybe it was Etnies stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
Right before I was off Etnies, we did some stuff together. Or maybe I was just lucky to be. Or maybe he might have been working with someone I was on a trip with, and he came along for a couple days.
Nice. Yeah.
Um,
I met him at Nora Cup or Inner Bike.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Introduced myself, and he's like, "I know who you are," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Get the fuck out of here!" No way. He bought me a drink. I'll never forget it. But it's
you're like, I still
love
have
the,
that drink. It's right
Yeah.
here. I never drank it.
The mystery of Rich Forn is
Yep.
elusive.
Yep.
The favorite one I've done so far. I mean, this is great that you're fucking
Yeah.
right here, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Um,
I
I
am sure you enjoyed the Chase one. It was probably good.
yeah,
Okay,
fucking
good.
definitely.
Chase is a legend.
It's
He's a
so
good dude.
like both of you guys, you and Chase, I've been watching since I was 16 years old. So
Chase and
it's
I have
really
like
cool.
had a funny we've always been friends, but we definitely had we were really close when we were younger, but our careers kind of took off at different times. Chase's was earlier than mine, but mine I financially did a little bit better at a time. But I remember always being like, yeah, but Chase is gonna have a long career, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand I still had a long career,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying it's over today, but our bodies, our style, it was one was you could do it for longer.
Yeah.
And I was
And that's his.
I'd tell Chase.
Yeah.
I remember standing in front of Chase's house. It was probably 6-7 years ago, man, maybe a little longer than that. And he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to do this for a long time." And I was like, "Chase, I think mine's my clock is ticking. I'm beat up, and I kind of have a big frame, and so it's gonna start to kind of it's gonna start to hurt." And I always thought I was like, "Oh, I'm a tough guy. It'll be fine. I'm a tough guy." And I don't mean I want to fight people, tough guy, but just I can handle.
resilient. You can handle
there
some
you go.
slams.
And then finally, 35, I kind of woke up and I was like, damn. Yeah, it's kind of all these injuries kind of came back, and I'm not good at going to the gym. I'm not good at icing. I'm not good at all the stuff that you got to be good at when you're at this age.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. So
No.
you mentioned on Unclick that you ate like shit when you were a kid. You're real picky. You didn't eat white rice in Japan.
Yeah.
And so,
Which was so dumb because I grew up,
Yeah,
I always,
I know, it's
people
so
always
weird.
he didn't eat rice until he went to Japan or whatever. I was like, well, I grew up eating brown rice.
Yeah.
Cornfed. I don't know but whatever.
You're I don't know about this white rice.
Yeah,
y'all.
I don't know.
But-
Gary Young always was on top of it, icing
Okay.
every night. And
Yeah.
I'd just be he'd be like, get some ice. And I'd be like, oh, I'm good. And this is no exaggeration. This is not something you should do, but I have maybe iced 10 things in my entire life.
Huh. So you
I
just
mean,
winging
that's
it.
probably not accurate,
Yeah.
but during my BMX career, I bet I've no more than 20 times ever iced anything.
That's interesting.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's not
bad.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were at the sauna today in
Yeah.
a cold plunge.
Yep.
I tried to get him to do the interview in the cold plunge.
We
This interview would have been short.
It would have been.
It'd have been
1.5
so. Anyways,
minutes.
this is really good. Let's get out of here.
Welcome to the show. I'm freezing. Guys.
Yep. That's just not who I am. I'm someone who's use it or you lose it. So I want to go on road bike rides. I want to go
Yep.
play golf. I want to walk a golf course. I want to play basketball. I want to do all these things.
What's
to
your
warm
diet
up.
like?
My diet's good today. Not this weekend because we're on family vacation, and
Yep.
so we're eating all the sweets. We have a big sweet problem. All the drinking and drugs that I didn't do, I did it while eating sweets.
Yeah.
But I mean, I try not to eat too much bread. I eat,
Yeah.
I eat pretty good. I don't eat a lot of grain, or I eat a lot of grains, and I don't know. If I didn't eat sweets, I'd be perfect. Not
Nice.
me, but my diet would be perfect.
Yeah.
But we do enjoy sweets, and my wife is one of those people that can eat all the sweets in the world, doesn't change anything
She's
about
got
her.
the metabolism.
Yeah. And I'm the one who can eat all the sweets in the world and also blow up at the same time.
Yeah.
Um,
It's crazy how bodies are different, and it's
Yeah.
an insulin resistance thing. It's fucking I'm so jealous of people who have that metabolism who can just house.
Yeah, I know it's so, and it's awful. My wife can literally eat donuts every single day and just get
And still look
smaller.
fine.
And
Yeah.
I'll take a bite of the donut,
Yeah.
and I'm
bloated for days.
the next day I'm yep, had that bite of that donut. So I'm not the best about that. I'm actually looking into maybe next year trying to get maybe get a personal trainer and
Nice.
not to further my BMX career, just to improve
good.
my life
Yeah.
and like be a little happier, improve my like day to day. I have some like pretty bad knee stuff that kind of hinders me from like doing normal workout stuff. So like trying to find someone to help me have workarounds for that. And just like, I just also could use the, you know, little bit of extra, like I don't need the motivation to do the work. I need the accountability.
Yeah,
so if someone
huge.
literally was like 9:00 tomorrow morning, I don't want to go.
Yeah,
I don't
but
want to
I'll
be
go
there,
because
but I will not let you down.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's like, that is more important than like,
dude, I'm the same way.
yeah,
I
like
was
Stone Kepler's family owns a CrossFit gym 6 houses from my house.
wow.
6 houses. Not
Yeah.
it's at a building, not at the house, but
Right.
like 8 houses. No joke.
You could walk.
They run past, his dad runs past my house every day. And he's like, "What's up, Aaron?" And I'm like outside, like doing something dumb. I see him every day. And they're like, "When you coming in?" And I'm like, 3 years of me being like, I'm coming. And like, I've gone in once and did some of the stuff. And I was like, all right, I'll be back. And then they like, and then I had to commit to like a class, like a week in advance. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, that's not how I work.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just not how it
Some
works.
shit will come up. I gotta
And
go
so
do this or whatever.
I have been talking about lately, like I actually have worked out the most I've ever worked in my life the last 6 months. Like, you know, just light stuff, just like push-ups and sit-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
Just trying to like, and it's been amazing. Like, it's noticeable. I just think I want to take it to like the tiny bit next level where I'm like, just hold me accountable, make me run around the block or something.
Yeah.
Because I'm not someone who like, if it's too hard, I give up. Like, my body hurts. I'm not going to take off running on the 2
Especially
mile.
if I'm alone, I'm stopping,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I like, you know, but I also am someone like, I walked 33 miles this year doing this 100-hole hike raising money, so I can do these things.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's not fun. That's
100-hole hike, is that what you said?
Yeah, we like
So it's
do
like
this 100-hole
golfing, but
golf
hiking?
hike. We play 100 holes in a day,
Oh my
and
god.
it's gnarly.
Yeah.
And it's like 30
Walking
something
the
miles.
course, obviously.
Walking,
Yeah.
It's gnarly. We raised like a whole bunch of money. And
That's great.
Yeah, that's cool. There's like, you know, a couple hundred people that do it across the country, all at these different courses all around the same time. And we raised like, well, last year we raised like, I don't know, $70,000-$80,000. And
For what?
Our group raised like 700,000. They, for getting kids onto golf courses for,
Nice.
you know, and all this stuff's really cool, but sometimes I feel bad. I want to do more for BMX, but it's hard, you know. That's kind of where Empire comes in, or the bike shop, or like Burn Slow, trying to like find ways to like,
Yeah, tell me about your role with Burn Slow. What's going on with that? And what's the future of Burn Slow? I think
Taking
you can
over.
See the pin?
I did see it. It's right there. Yeah. We're taking over. I don't know. No, a few things.
Best art. Best art.
I
in the
know.
game.
Adam's great.
Yeah.
You know, Adam did a lot of work for Empire forever, or still does. Then did Colt, and I think him and Colt kind of went different directions. And so I think this was just a new way for him to kind of use it as an outlet, do his thing, but also get to do something with the people we started with. Like our first house, the one I told you about, was Adam, Devin, Chase, and then a couple other people. But like Burn Slow is literally the 709 house from the first house we lived in all together.
Sick.
So Chase and I didn't ride for all the same sponsors. Devin is a photographer, and he would work a little bit more with whoever. He'd work with whoever. Adam did art for Colt and Empire, so we didn't really get to work or travel together. So now Burn Slow is like a way for us to like meet once a week, hang out. We have a group text that's live and like happening. It's like,
What do you meet about?
well,
Like
just
a-
like
like
what
a
we're doing with
business
Burn
meeting?
Slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like, are you talking about business every time with all your best friends?
Of course,
like,
yeah.
So we go get lunch. We like literally will be like, okay, let's try this new restaurant.
Yeah.
Like we just sit around the table, come up with ideas, and like, and just like how to launch, who to take on a trip, and you know, we don't have like a team because we want to take everyone.
Yeah.
We want everyone to go on trips. We want everyone
I'm on
to do
Burn
stuff.
Slow.
Yeah. Hey, if
You
we need filmers all the time. Whenever
Yeah,
you're ready,
exactly.
we're gonna send some dudes to Arizona.
Yes, sir.
So I think it's like it's just a way for the friends to stay together. And I think Adam has a good eye for what the future holds when it comes to like graphic design. And
Yeah,
like,
I'm curious about how. I mean, where does the money come from for Burn Slow? I
We
know
all
that
invested.
you all invested,
Yep.
but then how do you make money? Just by selling clothes?
shirts, selling clothes, selling stuff. And I mean, like our DIG thing dropped. I mean, I guess Monday, or I don't know, when did it drop? What's today? Sunday? I don't know. It dropped this week. I have no idea. It dropped, and it's selling like crazy. And I think it's like
It's a T-shirt with the DIG logo turned into. Is that what the thing is? Is what I saw?
well, and Fudger just sent me a thing that he just looking at it. And he
Oh,
goes,
that's fire.
He goes, someone just pointed this out. I was like,
It does kind of look like our BMX,
It does,
but
oh.
it says DIG.
He said he can't. It
Oh,
says dig,
shit.
bro. Come on, Fudger. Did you see my B-reel? Is that why you texted me? I guess.
So
And then
it's a
Evan
clothing
said he
brand.
sent you a couple.
Sent Bobby a
questions.
few questions. Okay, all right.
He said he sent them to you. Oh gosh.
I did put it on my Instagram that we got Aaron Ross in the house, so we can hit some of these questions up.
All right, let's see. What were we talking about now, though? And then I'm gonna go pee,
We
and
were-
then we're gonna finish these questions,
Yeah.
and then I should probably go be Dad.
Yeah, we were talking
And
about.
you said we had to be done at 3.
Ballpark.
Okay,
I'm
ballpark.
going to family dinner in a little bit, so we're doing good. We'll
doing good,
we'll
okay.
take a pee break and then come back to these questions.
Okay, deal.
Yeah.
What were we talking about now, though?
We were talking about how does Burn Slow make money.
Oh yeah, just like anyone else, just selling all these products.
Yeah, and it's
and coming on the podcast forcefully. I'm actually not here with my family. I am just here to sell the Dig thing. I flew in today. I'm just here to get you to.
I did a contest on the Chase Hawk episode. I said leave a comment and we'll do it again. A free Burn Slow, or not free. I'll buy you a Burn Slow T-shirt if you leave a comment.
I'll match his.
Yeah.
So if you leave one comment,
leave a comment that says Burn Slow with a fire emoji, and we will go through and randomly pick a winner.
All right,
and then
deal.
Connect with them and send them a shirt.
I like it. All right, cool. Yeah, Burn Slow. I mean, it's doing really good. It's been really fun. We have inventory and the amount of money we started with, and so we're doing. We feel good.
Yeah.
The Dig thing was really cool. I think for us older guys, the Dig thing is like a, like, wow, this actually happened type of deal.
Yeah.
We have some other really big things in the works. They're pretty big secrets right now, but like there's some pretty good stuff coming over the next year. We're pretty excited about. So
Burn Slow stuff.
I think people also just like they like Chase. They like the guys that are in the that are doing it. So I think they're appreciative.
Logan's
of that.
repping hard. I see
Yeah.
Burn Slow everywhere. Devin, Smiley.
Devin's like super psyched, and so we're trying to
Yeah.
do a better job. And we do a good job of like we do the best job we can. We like pay guys
Yeah.
to go on trips, and we like take care of them. And we try, like, we can't pay them a lot,
Yeah.
but we pay them and we make them feel like, hey, we appreciate you. We understand, like, we can only do so much, but like, we definitely try and take care of the guys. We do these little, like, if you're in a video project for the few months before and after, you're getting taken care of financially. We just want you to rep us, but that's why we don't want to have one team, because we
Right.
want to be able to bring Devin from California in and like, let's do a deal. And like, and then he'll stick around and like, he'll be on another trip. Like, it's not like it's unless it's like, doesn't work out, it's going to happen again and again. Yeah. And so, we just got some other guys, some clothes recently. So we're, we got, so
Maybe I'm curious about like the margins and scale.
No, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. That's all on Adam. I know nothing. I just know that we make colors. We made a burn orange shirt so I could rep at a UT game.
Sick.
This time. And the Dig stuff came out really good. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful.
All right. I'm going pee.
Pause.
And then we're going to knock out questions. Ooh.
I'm also gonna be outside.
Outside.
I'm an outdoor peer.
Oh, I am too. I'll be responsible. All right, we're gonna knock this out.
So I got Aaron Ross in my house. That's pretty cool. Aaron Ross, dude. This is also the first time doing this podcast set up like this, so hopefully this all works out. Recording to this Zoom H4n Pro.
Oh, I'm ready now.
Oh, we ready.
Dude, that was just halftime.
Yeah. Are you going to need a ride to go to your family?
I was just gonna Uber, but
I could take you, dude. It's like a 10-minute. Prius drive.
she's here currently.
Oh, no shit.
Wherever that sprinkle, wherever that is.
Old Town.
Old Town, yeah.
Beautiful.
We were maybe gonna go to Taco Boy's.
Taco Boys?
Is Taco Boy's good?
I don't know. Never been.
I heard Taco Boy's is good. I just looked it up. There's 2 different ones. One's 8 miles and one's 3 miles.
Taco Boys.
Roosevelt.
Nice.
I don't know. We've heard it's good.
I love it. There's the one thing that I would tell you to do is there's this two hippies taco shop or whatever. It's like surf and turf burrito, steak and shrimp, and so good.
Can you see these in the thing? You can. I've never had a mint Tic Tac in my life. This is like the oldest old man thing ever. But I felt like I should bring something mint, and these were in the car that we're borrowing.
Nice.
And I've never had them in my life. I've had I've only ever had the orange ones.
Orange ones are the best.
And so I was like, oh, I should bring these. And then I was like, you probably can't see them on the table. They won't think I'm 90. But no, they'll think I'm 90, and I got Tic Tacs on the table.
I've got my Tic Tac.
Yeah, I got the Tic Tacs. So
and my film camera,
So
which is pretty cool.
that's a digital. That's
Oh, okay,
digital.
but it just looks
Look,
filmy.
Look, we'll get a picture. Look, we got it.
That is sick.
Yep. I saw it came. So I saw it's on the table. I probably think it's yours, but now they're gonna be like, "Wow,
Wow,
Aaron's
Aaron's
cultured."
a photographer.
I know, yeah.
Oh.
So,
So
yeah.
so hip. Oh damn, Trip's just licking your
No,
ass.
we're just vibing. We're
All
just vibing.
So let me hit you with a rapid fire of my questions before we go to the Instagram questions, because
All right, deal.
the Instagram questions
I'm
I
ready.
looked at. Is it who texted you saying that he sent a bunch of questions? Evan?
Evan.
Okay.
Yeah. Did he send them?
He did send them.
Oh,
So
anything good?
We'll go through them. Silly ones.
Okay, cool.
How did the Astros cheat this time? Is
Oh.
one of them.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
So, who was your biggest inspiration when you were just getting into riding? Like, who was your first video part that you saw that you were like, holy shit, I want to be like that?
I think I saw like the road fulls like 6 or 7 pretty quickly, and I think Van Homan was definitely the guy. Like from that video, and then also just all the different videos. I think Van was definitely my. It's funny because Van and I don't really ride alike at all.
Yeah.
I just think he, it was Van Homan. He
Yeah.
was, and I think I always really liked Taj a lot. The Etnies video forward.
Yeah.
Taj was like, did unique stuff, kind of did his own way.
Yep.
And I appreciated that. And he was like down to make little skits and have fun.
He's in Texas too?
No,
Fairdale?
he's in Michigan, I believe.
But he
but-
was in Texas?
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
And he does Fairdale stuff now. So we do get to talk a lot and like get to work together, but we don't like see each other in
That's
person.
dope.
And not necessarily like, we just, he's involved with not Sunday, but like Fairdale.
Yeah.
And it's all in the same building. So
When I grow up, I'm going to buy 2 Fairdale bikes.
nice.
And
Cool.
cruise around the neighborhood.
All right, deal. We can work that out.
Who was the first rider that you got to see in person and you like really geeked out on?
Probably one of the first ones outside of like, I think it was Brian Foster.
Just like, oh my God. This is
No,
Brian
I saw
Foster.
Brian Foster at a national in
At a-
Beaumont,
while you're
Texas.
racing.
He was riding the first brown fit with the V brake mounts, but it was the race bike. So he was riding a street bike to race the national. It was his last ever race.
Huh.
He might have known that, but like no one knew that.
Yeah.
And I stood by him and talked to him about the frame. And I was like, oh, I ride BMX too. Like I ride,
I ride
like
BMX too.
I was like, I ride like street, like, and he's probably like, yes, so does
Cool,
everyone
young
else
man,
here.
cool.
And then I ended up getting knocked out at that race, not racing him, but I got knocked out.
Literally
And,
knocked out? Like you
Yeah,
knocked
literally.
yourself
Yeah.
out?
First turn, I was in front of, for the ones who do know, I was in front of Bubba Harris.
I know that name.
Yeah, he's local, Arizona guy. And I had a good weekend. I was going fast, had the inside, but I didn't have the inside. I had like lane 3 maybe, and I was out front. And
Yeah.
Bubba Harris on the outside. So if I made it through the turn, I was going to come out of the turn first. And someone from behind me in 1 or 2 clipped my back wheel in the first jump, the step going to the first turn, and I got kicked sideways and was out. Still have the scar. That scar is from that crash.
Dude, getting knocked unconscious is one of the weirdest feelings.
Yeah, I mean, don't remember much of it, but
Yeah.
I do remember walking around the stands afterwards and like trying to find my friends and being like, "Hey, man, yeah, like I'm good, I'm going home," and then like said that over and over.
Yeah, you keep
for,
repeating
hours.
yourself.
And my dad and I just drove home because I was not able to ride.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't break anything, but definitely got knocked out. And
I knocked myself out at the skate park once, and it felt so cool. I was so confused and just baffled by that state of mind because like I woke up, I couldn't remember coming to the skate park, so I'm like, wait a second, am I dreaming? Like all my friends are standing around me looking at me, and they're like, dude, you good? And I was like, yeah, what happened?
What happened?
And they're like, well, you tried a backlash, and then you looped out, and then you hit your head
And
on the
then
ground.
1 minute
And
later, you're like, "What happened?"
yeah, exactly.
It's
I'm like,
yeah.
how did I get here? I'm at the skate park?
Yeah.
And they're like, you need to go to the hospital, bro.
Yep. So it was like that was a pretty good ways before concussions were like a known thing. So my dad was like, "Well, I guess we'll go home," and like not no fault to my dad, but we didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I just like went home and
Good. You're fine.
drove 7 hours.
I
back
could have
home.
gone just home, the same thing, because the hospital was like, nah, you're fine, go
Yeah.
home.
So yeah.
Okay, next up, favorite filmer.
Favorite filmer of someone I've worked with.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's a tough one. Or favorite filmer of someone I want to watch. I don't know.
Let's do
I don't
both.
get into the like the details of the filming stuff so much. I sort of am the person that just shows up and like I'm good wherever. So I've always enjoyed, I guess Devin Hutchins. He's like one of my oldest friends. We do a lot of stuff in bike riding and outside of bike riding together. Like as in like,
Media.
yeah, like I'm trying to think like influencer stuff. So
Okay, yeah.
Devin's definitely my guy. But I've liked everyone I've really worked with. They're just because when it comes to bike riding work, it's like one thing, and then like friendship is different.
Yeah.
So like Walter and I had a great working relationship for a long time, and
Yeah.
we traveled all over the world, rode a lot of bikes, and filmed a lot of great stuff.
Legendary shit. The
He's probably one of my
Odyssey
favorite people to
versus
shoot
Sunday one.
photos with. He was obviously a great photographer, and I really liked the way he like shot photos, like, you know, very like big, like it's hard to explain, but like very bright. I like bright stuff. I like very clear, crisp things. Not
And the
that
way he
everyone's
translated that into his videography was also interesting because his tripod shots were composed so well.
Yeah, he
you
was
know?
very good at that. And like, so Walter and I got along very well for a long time and like worked together well and traveled a lot. So I mean, Devin and Walter are the two people I've probably worked with the most.
Yeah.
And so I've enjoyed, but I liked working with Will Stroud, and we worked together on a bunch of stuff and like finished the Etnies project together.
Yep.
And Will to this day is still a good friend of mine. And, you know,
He's a sweetheart.
yeah.
He's doing his thing. I want to talk to him on here.
Yeah,
'cause
he's a good dude. He said
branched
I
out.
actually talked to him the other day. He said, you better hurry. He said he's starting a podcast.
Oh, shit.
He's starting one. I told him I'd maybe come out next year and just like come out and do it.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a BMX podcast. It's like he's doing all kinds of film work. So it's
Oh,
it's a bunch of different stuff. So
Yeah, you shouldn't be limited
No.
if you're going to do a podcast.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a commitment.
It is. It's a
doing
lot.
Pod. Yeah. People take it for granted. Like, oh, yeah, I could do a podcast.
Yeah,
Okay,
of
just
course.
do it. 10 weeks
I could
in
do
a
a
row.
podcast.
See if you can do it.
So yeah, what else you got for me?
What's going on here? Hold on.
Might be me.
You're good. What makes a BMX video good?
Let's see. Video part or video?
Part.
I think spots and song is very important.
That makes me want to ask. Forget the rest of that answer. How did Every Day I'm Hustling come into the Empire?
I think that
Tilbrook?
was Joel Moody. I don't
Nice.
even know. I think it was Joel Moody, and I don't even know if I was fully convinced. I just, it was funny because I remember. So my first video part was Empire, and I wanted to ride to. If you're gonna play in Texas, you have fiddle in the band. I'm not a big music guy. I don't listen to a ton of music. I like music, but I'm not like diehard one way or another.
Yeah.
And I remember Chase like being like, not necessarily sitting me down, but being like, you can't ride to that.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna ruin this is before you even takes off. And I was like, nah, we're gonna do it. And then Every Day I'm Hustling was like the reason it worked out so well because I think it was the complete opposite of the first video.
Yep.
And I always like, if you think about all the video parts I ever rode to, they're not really that. Some of them are great songs, but they're just very popular one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
And I think I'm sort of like, I like that like poppy, that like in your face, like obnoxiousness.
Yep.
That's just my personality. And like Every Day I'm Hustling is a great song still today, but it was like not some like hidden gem in the back of a like album.
Right.
None of them were.
Yeah.
Like I rode to Hey Mickey, You're So Fine. Like that is like
yeah, you did.
one of the worst songs.
electronical?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that has to be one of the worst songs of all time.
Yeah.
But if you liked it and it's catchy and it fits into the perfect place, it's the perfect song.
It worked out.
And it worked out. And like so I think, you pick songs however you want,
So we got
I like pop
good
songs.
spot use, pop one-hit wonder music.
One hot wonder songs, yeah. Yeah. And I think spot use and then also just not kind of what we talked about earlier.
Yeah, we covered it a little bit.
Don't do it over. Don't do the same thing over and over.
Right,
Like
yeah.
use spots differently. And if you find the best spot in the world to do, a feeble tail whip, and then 3 days later you find the best spot in the world to do a feeble tail whip, pick the best one.
Right.
And like do them both. One's maybe for the trailer and one's for your part.
Right.
And like that's, you gotta, I know I did a ton of tail whips. I did all the tail whips, but I felt like they were at least like I was doing a tail whip or a feeble tail whip or something in a place that hadn't been done before.
Yeah.
And so like, yes, I did a lot of it, but they weren't all the same.
Facts.
And maybe they were.
This might be a tough one for you because you are prolific. You've been going a long time. What is your favorite, or like, all right, what's the clip that you had to work the hardest for? I heard a story about you in Old Town Mesa, Arizona.
Oh, the long one.
The bench
Yeah.
to bench to another bench.
Yep.
That I heard that took 6 hours or something outrageous.
Maybe I
like
should
that.
let it grow. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was like 4.5 hours. We started at midnight.
Tell me
So,
about this. Yeah.
It was just
Quick story.
and nothing really. It just saw a spot. I don't know why. I don't know what it was. I just had done ice pick tail whips at the time. Kind of wanted to do a good one in a line, like where like up the tech of it, not just doing just an ice tip.
Yeah.
Just want to do it. So just did, found this spot. We were parked across the street. So I don't think it was even a spot. I think we just started playing on them. And I was like, well, I think I can do this. It was probably could have been done in half the time. It started at midnight, so you're tired. Not necessarily at midnight, but like 2 a.m. I'm probably tired. And the biggest problem with that line was I just got into a bad groove for like an hour and a half of grinding the last like 8 inches of the last bench.
Oh yeah.
Not realizing I was doing it.
Yeah.
And then finally started to watch the clip back and being like, dude, I'm not even grinding. And I'm someone who wants to start at the very beginning and get set and then go. Once I kind of went back to that or saw that and went back, I got it, 30 more minutes or something.
Nice.
But I wasted a lot of time not doing it.
Yeah.
That was Joel Moody was filming and Walter was shooting photos. So it was before Walter was filming, and both of them were running back to Walter's big giant RV rig to charge batteries because
in between tries,
every try they were having to run and get different batteries.
Damn.
That was a cool one. Another one that I didn't get a lot of. Another one I did with Walter for bad idea was there was a long ice pick in this parking lot in Austin that's now gone, and it dropped like 4 or 5 feet over like a flower bed, dropped like brick wall like over a curb, and I did ice toe it.
I know the spot.
And that took like maybe like 8 or 10 hours, like 3 different sessions of like 4 hours, and like that was hard. But I felt like that one, the video work didn't do a good job of it showing the like whole thing.
Yeah.
Because if you went there in person, it was gnarly.
Yeah.
But the video, it wasn't that Walter didn't do a good job. It was just like, it was a hard thing to shoot.
It doesn't translate. Yeah. There's so many things like that.
And that's actually one of the ones where I'm like, that's probably one of the coolest things I've ever done that I just didn't get the love for, that like the love was there. Like if someone went to it, they'd be like, oh, damn. Like this isn't like,
this is crazy.
This isn't like a normal, like people, I think people just thought I did an ice whip drop to a different level of a parking lot. And it's like, no, there's like a 4-foot gap or 5-foot gap that you had to go travel, do this. And no one was doing ice telps then. And so I just don't think it was something that like translated as well as like as gnarly as it was. And like, I still today, I'm like, damn, that was pretty good. And like, no one really knows, like no one really like, it just wasn't the spot that told you exactly how gnarly it was. So.
And that happens a lot. Like you
does.
go to a spot in person and you're like, holy shit, he did what? But
yeah.
in video, it's like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
Yep.
The clip. What the fuck? I was just about to say. So it's like clip. That's basically the clip you've worked the hardest for. What if you could pick one clip out of your whole career? What's your most favorite?
I think probably 2. I mean, there's a bunch, there's a bunch of stuff I was pretty psyched on. I think the whip I did here in Arizona was pretty cool. It kind of like, I think it like
at the end of the
jump
line.
started like, it was like the launching pad for my career. It was like like someone just posted this.
What was the
yesterday.
line? You hopped and then just hopped over the ledge.
Yep.
Then you did a
like
180 bar flat.
And then I maybe did a 3. And then did a bunny hopped over the thing, which I always regretted not barring over the little planter box or the little flower box.
Interesting, yeah.
Or the flower pot.
Yeah.
It was actually a cigarette thing, I believe, because it just had. But and it was only because my bars were already now all twisted up.
Yeah.
I didn't, and I still to this day am like, I swear to you, to this day, I still see myself bunny hopping it and not doing a bar spin, because it wasn't that I couldn't do it; it's that I couldn't get the bars to get back for the thing. And I was good enough and could do big bunny hop bars. And I was like, I can't believe I didn't just, because I could have probably done it switch.
Yeah.
And I just, there's a lot going on. You're kind of traveling fast. So I think switch was a tiny bit out of the question because you're kind of trying to make it look like you're going fast. I still can feel that I didn't do the bars. I would guess that.
Okay,
and
that
I think
one.
the other one would be, there's 2. I mean, if I'd say top 3, I did the fakie rail hop, which was like
iconic,
pretty cool, and like that had been on my list for a long time. And I finally did it. And then the other one was like I jumped over this railing in Austin that in the same video, the big drop into the ditch, and then I did wall ride whip, and that one was cool. It was big, it was scary, and I'm known for doing some big stuff, but not like big stuff like others. And so that was kind of big and scary for me, and I like sent it, like I had to do it like 6 times because I just didn't get the wall ride whip. And then I remember Chase saying like Dak came to town like a week later and like saw it and was like, I wouldn't do that. And I was like, damn. And I think Dak's, I promise you Dak was lying. Dak would have done it. He would have done it and then did wall ride 540. I'm no doubt. Like Dak is bunny hops higher than me. Like I'm not fooled by that comment. Yeah. But it did feel good.
It did feel
like
good.
I'm not like, do not think I'm better or like oh, Dak wouldn't do it. No, Dak jumped over something in Austin that was like 4 times bigger years before that. Dak would have jumped over this. He might have 180'd this thing, but it felt good to be like, yeah, you will. And I went to it because I heard they were coming to town, and I knew this new spot was there, and Chase was going to take them, and it'd been on my list, and I knew that Dak was going to do it.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to take it from Dak. It was just like, it's in my hometown. I'm working on a part. This is my time. If I go and I don't do it, then it's free game.
Boom.
And I went and I was like, we're doing it, and we did it.
Yeah.
And so, like, no, nothing against. I know we've talked about Dak a few times. Dak's one of my favorite bike riders, but he was going to do it. And I wanted it. And there's other people that did do things I wanted to do, and I was like, yeah, I didn't do it. Yeah. Like, it's okay. Like, you can't be mad. Like, like if you didn't, especially if you live there, if you live there and you didn't do it, that's on you.
All right, I got one more.
All right.
Rapid fire question, but I got to change the battery. It's about to die.
Okay.
We're gonna leave the audio rolling.
Oh man.
And we're back.
All right. What do we got?
So, the last rapid fire question is what's your Mount Rushmore of BMX riders?
Oh man.
Let's go current day.
Okay, current day.
Because I think all time would be pretty tough.
So there's 4 people.
Yeah.
Current day as in like the last 10 years?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Okay. Garrett Reynolds, Dennis Anderson.
Yep.
I'll say Chase Hawk.
Nice.
Not that I say that like in a negative. Chase been on. He would have.
Chase
Chase would have been on the 10 years before that. I think Chase is Chase is insanely inspirational and like to the current day BMX scene.
The longevity.
Yeah. And then my last one. Chase will appreciate that I said it too.
Yeah.
So
shout out Chase Hawk.
Shout out Chase Hawk, because he will be sad when he sees that I talked shit about him earlier.
He won't listen to this.
He might. Who else? Let's see. Oh, Nathan Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nathan Williams.
Pretty solid.
So there's a lot of people that you could fit in there. Nathan is one of the people that I've never been on a trip. Like, I've never really been on a trip with Dennis. Like, he's on Odyssey now, so I guess maybe this year we'll get to go on a trip a little bit.
Oh, that'll be sick.
But I got to witness Nathan at a very early stage, and then for a long time. And I remember Corey Martinez telling Walter and I early on, oh, he's the dude.
He's the one.
He's going to be, this is like, Nathan's like, 18.
He's wearing the blue and orange striped shirt.
Yeah.
And
he's like, oh, no, he's going to be the dude. And
yeah.
we're like, okay, yeah, cool. And then you go on trips and you're like, oh, he's kind of like the dude.
Yeah, he's kind of the dude.
And there's a window of the dude, and then there's a window of like Nathan's still the dude. And Nathan is the guy. I've been on some trips where I'm like, he's not scared of anything. He's not worried about it.
Yeah.
He's like, he knows what he is capable of, and he knows what he can do, and he knows what he can do on his bike. And when he gets caught off guard and falls, it's a surprise to him.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
And I don't mean a surprise like, oh, he's so cocky. It's like, no, he's just like,
oh, I visualized myself doing it, so I should have done it.
And if I can do it on a flat rail, I can do it over here.
Right.
And like, okay, so now you're 2 stories in the air doing it on a flat rail, but he can do that. Nathan Williams is
it's interesting how you get that mentality.
I know.
Because like I start thinking about what could go wrong, but you shouldn't think that way.
I'll say this. There's certain people, Garrett, maybe not even Garrett, Nathan in different ways. Like they're both the best. But when you watch a Nathan Williams part, watch it over and over and over, and watch everything. His feet, his regular opposite. Just pay attention.
It's perfect.
Because like there's people I think that watch Nathan like, oh, that was cool.
They don't realize it was switch-footed and opposite.
Yeah, they don't realize how much of it's like not normal.
Yeah.
And like you're like, I think that's where people forget some of that stuff sometimes. And they're like, and hey, it's hard. Like if you don't pay attention. I was always good at switching regular, like seeing it on other people because I like was goofy footed. Yeah. Well, goofy pegged. So I was always really hyper aware of what everyone else was doing. Yeah. And so like I've always told people this, you could not necessarily today, but like my generation, you could list anyone. I'll tell you right or left foot forward. Anybody. Nice. Like any name, I could tell you exactly.
Steve Crandall.
He's left foot forward.
Nice. Yeah. He's got it.
Yeah. He's actually probably, and I would guess that Crandall's actually goofy footed.
Nice. Yeah. Let me think of another one.
But I could be wrong.
To test. Courage Adams.
Oh, he's right foot forward.
Yep.
Yeah. And he spins regular.
And Devin Smiley.
He's right foot forward.
I think he's right foot forward. Yeah, because I feel.
But see, you're not even. I'd
right
go
foot
into
forward.
like
You're right foot forward, strong side on the.
like if I take
pegs
my
left.
pegs off, you'd have no idea.
Yeah.
Like I'm not goofy.
Right.
Like I spin normal. Yeah.
It's kind of an advantage. It's like a superpower.
It is.
Like Nick Bonnell, a local writer here, he has that fuck-footed,
Yep.
advantage of feeble threes looks so easy because that's your strong, and then strong everything's not switch.
Yeah, like
Right,
Rat Boy, it was an advantage. Like I'm bringing up Rat Boy local here. Rat Boy like did all this crazy stuff way before its time. Well, he was doing it because he was feeble 180 on the easy side.
Yeah,
and, like, doing 180 bars. So
trippy.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
Anybody, I got anybody.
Rat Boy, right foot forward or left foot forward?
Right foot forward.
Okay.
Spun to the left.
All right.
What do you got for me?
Zach Mealman says, ask him what he's doing in your house.
I'm sitting on the couch.
All right. Here's a barrage of Evan Smedleys.
All right, I'm ready.
How did the Astros cheat this time?
They cheated by hiring within their organization, got good players, pulled up from their AAA team, didn't even build a team, and they still smoked everybody.
That's what's up.
We didn't have to go get some Bryce Harper from Washington for anything. So, anyways, come at me, bro. I was in a okay. I'll say I'll flex a little bit. So I have a group text with Daryl Taco, Jay Dyer, which you might not know Jay, but he's a part designer at Odyssey, has moved on outside of BMX just recently, and Van Homan. And Van, they're my favorite people because they're Phillies fans and Eagles fans, and I'm a Cowboys fan and an Astros fan. So like Astros and Phillies don't really have a rivalry, but we were in the World Series together, so there's a rivalry. But the Eagles and the Cowboys have a big rivalry. They don't like each other. And it's been very fun the last few years. Like I get texts from Van Homan when he was in like Japan, just being like, "Fuck you" and "fuck the Cowboys." And I'm like, this is like my favorite bike rider in the world. And I'm like, damn, he's just like, he doesn't care about nothing. Like he doesn't care. Oh, anyways,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So
this means nothing to me, but is Texas back? Evan says.
No, not at all. We haven't played the second quarter of one college football game in 3 years, so we're awful. Even though we're winning,
he's
we're
referring
awful.
to the University of Texas.
Yeah.
Why are Cowboys so bad?
Well,
Back? Why are Cowboys so back? That doesn't make sense to me. It should be bad, right?
what is this?
This is a survey.
Okay. Why are the Cowboys so back?
Why? Yeah.
Come on.
We'll skip it. Evan,
We'll
you're
see.
drunk,
We'll see when they win the whole thing.
yeah. When will Sunday re-release the orange soda frame fork bar?
Oh man, who said that?
Evan.
Oh wow. I don't know. You gonna buy one? There's been talk about it. I think it's just tough. We did an orange bike this year, like the creamsicle bike. But the hardest part is like wheels and tire. You know how hard it is in the industry right now, and like getting bikes made. So like it's the grips and the tires that are like hard to deal with right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like making the parts isn't all that bad, but trying to get the tires in orange and it's just too hard.
Yeah, and go listen to the Unclicked episode. You guys talked about that a lot.
There you go.
Like the colors in the industry and all
Yeah,
that.
I ruined the whole industry.
Yeah, it's really cool to listen to about like the pushback you got when you were like, no, I want fluorescent yellow highlighter bike. And
Yep.
whoever was running the show was like, really? This is what
Really?
you want?
This is it? You don't want like a blood red?
All right, Ditch Frank. I think you know Ditch
Oh
Frank.
yeah, I know Ditch.
No question, but that dude is a man. When my bike was stolen, he sent me one. That's fire.
I like he actually helped me pick up some wheels out here recently for a Porsche car project we were working on. He
Sick.
drove out to somebody's house, bought some wheels for $100 off Marketplace, and then later the Kink team was in town. This is how awesome BMX is.
Yeah.
I hit up Ditch Frank. He then buys me wheels, holds on to them for a little while. The Kink team's in town. They put them in the van, drive them back to Austin, and deliver them to me.
That's amazing.
I don't know who liked any of that, but it worked out well for me.
Beautiful.
And then Ditch also at one point sent me a slice of pizza from Slice on ASU campus. This was like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And I ate it. They sent it in a box, wrapped it up, overnighted it, and I ate it. I love
They do that
Slice.
shit. Have you heard of Freebirds burritos? Mm-hmm. That they took me on a trip. Like we drove 8 hours just to eat a burrito and turn around and drive home. Like Freebirds. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Wow.
Ditch is weird. All right. It's Kyle Walker. Is it true he filmed his first Empire part in like a day?
Who?
Kyle Walker from California.
Empire?
Is it true Aaron filmed his first Empire part in like a day?
Why? Where did I get Kyle Walker?
No, this is a different Kyle
Oh,
Walker.
okay. Sorry, my first Empire in a day.
Yeah, your first Empire part.
No, is your address the Fairmont one?
Yes.
Okay. I think they're just gonna come get me.
Nice.
I'm having trouble getting this. Let me get this real quick.
I'm sensing he didn't film it.
I
in
did
like a
not
day.
film it in one day. I filmed it in where is this?
With the shit you were doing in your prime.
But I did
nothing
film
was
that
done
first
in
Empire
like a
part
day.
very quickly.
Okay.
It was because I was way late to the game and on the filming stuff. So I kind of only had, I don't remember exactly, but I only had like 2 months or something. And I didn't live there and I was in high school. And so I was driving up every Friday after school
Staying for the weekend.
and filming on the weekend. They came down to Corpus once or twice and we knocked stuff up. But it was also, like I said, it was early. So like everything I did, no one had seen.
That's
me
great,
do.
yeah.
And then I was also that's where I got the Stairmaster thing my first name was like the Stairmaster because I just rode stairs. And so I would like 3 upstairs, switch 3 upstairs, switch 3 down, all the stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of stuff no one had ever seen me do. And so I just like, it was easy to film that first part.
Yeah.
Then it sort of got to where you got to start working
Leveling
on it.
up. Yeah.
But it wasn't a day, but it was very quick. It was very quick.
Which leads me, I'm curious, what do you think is your peak performance video part? Because you do have to kind of keep stepping up your level.
I think there was an era, maybe not a part, but I think it's hard to say because I hate to say that like the Empire Chill Bro was like the best because it's like that was
It's
so
the most
long ago.
influential for sure, I think.
Yeah, I think my Etnies part was pretty good. I think the Grow Up was pretty good.
Yep.
Sunday Grow Up was pretty good. I think like those were a little bit harder because the song choice was a little bit tougher and like and it's also hard to like beat your own like your early work. It's hard in general. But I think some of those were like all around pretty good parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could have taken 1 or 2 of those and like combined them and then picked a really good song. Like the Etnies was always hard to pick songs for because it had to be like really
Cleared.
legit.
Yeah.
That was hard. And so I think some of those parts got forgotten a little bit. I think Bad Idea was probably my best. I talked about this unclicked. I think Bad Idea was probably my best work of like writing as a complete part, but the song ruined that part so bad. It's really unfortunate and still can't get the footage today, so can't fix it.
Shit. Strangest place. All right, so this is Joe freaking Cephalo.
Okay. So, Joe?
Strangest place you went on a trip.
Strangest place I ever went on a trip would probably be a couple places. We went to India, which was pretty insane. Yeah, you can watch that video. It's like there was an India trip with Tony Hamlin, myself, Walter, and I can't think of who else. Who was the other guy?
I don't know.
Nathan Williams.
Oh shit.
It was gnarly.
Yeah.
There was nothing to ride. It was gnarly. It was crazy. It was one of the most eye-opening trips I've ever been on. But I'll say one of the weirdest trips I went on. We went on this trip down to Argentina, a Red Bull trip. I went with like Baz Keep and like, man, it's one of those weird trips where it's like just before social media was like really easily accessible. And we flew into Argentina, got on these little private little skydive planes for Red Bull, sitting on the floor, flew into the middle of nowhere.
Huh.
Like 2.5 hours into the middle of nowhere, into like the literal moon is what it looked like. And it was like these trannies. You can see the photo. You can find the stuff. I don't remember what it was called, but I just wish I like took my camera or was like took your phone was a little, it was just one of those situations where like, I have no real like proof of this.
Right, yeah.
And like, I didn't get photos of us like in the plane and just this weird stuff where I'm like,
The little moments.
we stayed in this weird little cabin. Like it was gnarly. And it was like, it was just there to ride this natural, like,
Training.
earth, like just these weird, and you had to find tranny because it wasn't all perfect. And I ended up rolling my ankle pretty bad doing like a downside whip or something. And like, but still got some footage and that was gnarly. And like, there's a video of it somewhere, but it was not like a normal thing. Like sometimes Red Bull stuff's like for their channel only and it just disappears. That was still to this day. I'm like, what did we do? But,
That's something that I think back on. Like I got to go to Australia for my first trip, and I regret not making it more or making memories of it. More pictures and all that shit. Only 2 frame sponsors in your career. Okay, so this is Jay Braun, FBM and Sunday. Were there any other offers throughout the years?
Yeah, I've had a handful of other stuff like right at the initial one, not really. I think, or not that I remember. FBM, I went straight to Sunday. I think Sunday was like pretty easy. I was in house. No, there was a conversation about riding for Mutiny. Like we sat down on the porch in Austin and talked about it. But I think what I wanted to accomplish and what they like could swing wasn't really in the cards. And I was already had a really good relationship with Odyssey and Sunday were out of the same building, so it just made sense. Since
you
then,
and Sunday are like synonymous.
Yeah, since then I've had a handful of other talks with like GT and like some other stuff. GT and I've had a couple talks a handful of times. And I always felt
Did you know
that,
I was on GT?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, when I was 18.
And I had a good, I always had a good relationship with like Z and like Kaczynski and other people that are over there. So there was some like temptation there, but like I also am someone who just like has a lot of loyalty to like, I love the people I worked with at Odyssey or Sunday and Odyssey. And it's not like I was trying to leverage it at all. I think it was just like, when you think of GT, you think that they can like they can do something bigger. And I think, and you're going to be able to like do more and this, that, and the other. And I think like I was already kind of goes back to some of the financial stuff where like working on this other stuff. I think sometimes it didn't outweigh the like loyalty. Yeah. And I don't mean that like, I wanted to go on trips with Kaczynski. I wanted to go on these trips and like, and I think there was a time when Sunday stuff was like, maybe a change would have been good for me, like career wise and like energizing me wise. But in the end, I think I made the right decision over and over and like get a stick with the company. Yeah. I think that was it. Is I thought that one day I'd get to like ride for Fairhill and like do other stuff. And I just didn't know what would happen with GT. And I was always open. Like I would tell the guys at Sunday about it and they'd just kind of be like, well, whatever you got to do. And it wasn't necessarily, the money was never necessarily better, but they would, sell to you like, we're going to do these trips and do all this. And like, and maybe they would have, and I don't doubt that. I think I just was like, yeah, but like all this other work on these houses and all this stuff I'm doing it so I could stay loyal. And I never had to like jump ship and like try and find this, that, and the other. And I think it was, I think I did the right thing.
Yeah,
and,
I agree. That's admirable.
So there was, but I still have a lot of respect for all those guys over there. And like, that's the one company that like definitely I talked to the most at, times. And maybe it was only twice or something. And I think the last time I talked to Z a bunch, and like I always felt really bad because I love those guys. But I think they also understood. Like
I just got to see Z like a week ago. Love that guy, and Fudger too. They've been in it for so long.
Both good dudes.
And then this one we already covered, Jonah Ja-Chan. Ja-Chan. I never knew how to say your name. He's a filmer. He's filming Sabrosa stuff lately from Florida. Did you ever apologize personally to Adam Elsie?
There it is. See? You didn't even know about it. They've got it. Nope, never going to, but
never gonna.
But I did send him some handlebars. I don't remember. I wish I remember what it said because I think it'd be pretty funny. Oh, no. You know what it was? I remember what I wrote. I wrote on the handlebars, on the sticker, and I sent like a signed piece of paper in it, and I said, hey, Adam. Adam? Adam, sorry. I was getting blanked. Hey, Adam. I heard you broke your handlebars recently, and it was something he didn't break his handlebars. I think I was just being funny and sending them to him, but he broke his handlebars 12 years earlier. And I was like, I heard recently that you broke a pair of handlebars. I just wanted to make sure we can get these to you as quick as we could. And sign my name. That's what it was. Yeah. And I was just like, I always, like I said, Adam 22, Adam LZ, all these people, I always appreciate people that hustled. That doesn't mean that like, not everyone loved the way that Adam hustled. Right. Adam 22 hustled. Not everyone loved the way Adam LZ hustled. But these guys made lives and careers out of like getting their jump start in BMX. And I think the hardcore people don't love that.
Yeah, they hate on people.
But you know what? The hardcore people don't care anymore because they see everyone making money doing Instagram stuff. So they're just like, oh man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. There is less of that nowadays, Like, ew, cringe. It's
they're like,
you,
dude, dudes are trying to just make it. And like, hey man, if you can make a living doing the thing that you love since you were a kid, you should do whatever you can without like killing somebody or being absolutely awful and like enjoy it.
Or selling out. You talked about that. Go listen to Unclicked. He talks about selling out.
He did a good job not asking me all the same questions.
All right. Well, that's pretty much a wrap.
When are you coming to Austin?
Shit, I would love to come to Austin. My life is crazy, man. I'm basically like on call. I film for a real estate investor, and so I got to stay with him. But they tour all over the place. They teach people how to wholesale. So maybe next time I'm in Texas. I was just in Austin maybe like 4 months ago. It was weird to be there for a non-BMX thing. Like it was the first time.
So when do you want to do a burn slow trip out here?
Burn slow.
And
Sure,
when
I'm
do you wanna-
open for
when do you
whenever,
wanna-
dude.
When do you want to film it?
I'll submit my
We're-
PTO
we're
and we'll make it work.
we're making deals right here.
Yeah.
That's why Chase. I heard Chase didn't get the deal done for the trip, so
Yeah.
I'm here just to get the deal done. So
Adam mentioned it too because I want to collaborate. I want Adam's art and Mediocre at Best to combine somehow, and he was like, if we do it organically, you film a trip for us and
Let's
bring
do it.
your boys. Yeah, it would be the sickest.
all right, then okay,
sick
we're
ass
making
collab.
it happen. We're doing
Yeah.
it. Cool.
And I can work while I'm also working that trip or whatever. Filming a BMX trip doesn't feel like work at all. Then
Yeah.
I just got to run social media and be able to branch off and whatever. I can make it happen.
All right, deal.
Are there any riders that you want to like give some shine time to? Like your
I think
your
my
local scene?
favorite bike riders right now: Brett Silva,
Yep.
Julian, Jared Duncan. Those guys are all some of my favorite. I mean, obviously they're all on Sunday. I see them pretty regularly. They help me with house projects, and I kind of try and like they work at the places that we hang out.
homies.
Stone's pretty fun to watch. I think he's on the map. He's trying to figure out. He's like getting into mountain biking at the moment. He's
Nice.
like, but he's a good bike rider, so he's doing what he's 14. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, for real.
Those guys are good. There's this new kid, not new. He's been in Austin for a minute, but Max. I don't know how to say his last name, but Max. He just shredded the Burn Slow little Halloween jam.
Okay.
The scene in Austin's good right now.
Dope.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Those guys are good. That kid Max is really cool. He did the big flip over the channel or whatever.
Is Talon Pemberton out there? No,
Talon
he's
is
not
there.
here.
No, he's here. He's in
Okay.
Austin. He's from Austin. He shreds. He's riding a lot of mountain bikes right now and riding his little e-bike. He's I don't want to say little e-bike. I'm gonna put him down.
Yeah.
He's one of those people where I've said this for years. I'm like, dude, he's the best all around dude. There's no one cooler than him. Like I can't just jump on a dirt bike and like shred the track.
Yeah.
He like can like get sideways at the track, and I'm like, good for you. Like, that's sick.
It's pretty sick.
Talon's good. Dude, we have a pretty good scene. There's
Yeah,
a
you
good
do.
little scene. They're hanging out, and we're working on, not we're, but like the city's opening this new skate park, so guys got stuff to ride. So it's
Dope.
good. Yeah.
And then lastly, what can people expect in the future, near future, from Aaron Ross?
Dude, I have no idea.
Do you have any footage saved up?
I do have a lot of
anywhere?
footage shaved up.
Nice.
It's been a minute since I've added to it, and for the first time in my life, there's no immediate plan to film more for it. But I will say, over the last week, after the Burn Slow Jam, I have a video part saved up, and I kind of needed I did 2 tricks in it that were like pretty good, like banger tricks.
Okay.
And I messed up. One of them I didn't finish because I had to like jump this gap afterwards, and I tried to tell it for like 3 different sessions, and just like it's big and it's gnarly, and you're bunny hop whipping off something like this, like trying to clear like an 8-foot gap, maybe a 6-foot gap, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to where I've done a million tail whips and I haven't pulled this tail whip yet, and it's not big. Like it's hard. The other one was I did something pretty cool and like tried to whip off a curb, and it ruined the whole line, and I did not pull the whip off the curb, which Daryl Taco was there that day, and he was like, oh my God, I can't believe you just didn't do this. And I'm like, never went back and did that. Never. So anyways, just in the last week I've gotten, because I haven't been riding a lot. I ride a lot, but not filming or anything. And I was like, man, maybe I should go back and try and get one of those done, because this part's pretty good. And if I get these clips, it's like something some people you've never seen other people do. So it's like still good stuff. And I'm like, shit, I gotta go back and do this. And it's already put a lot of hours in this one line, and I like couldn't do it. And I was better at bike riding 2 years ago. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna do. So on the way here, I actually was thinking, driving, I'm coming here to talk to you. I'm like, I think I should put in the next 8 weeks of effort and like not put the part out without it, because we were going to still put it in the part because it was still good. I just didn't pull it the way I want to pull it. And I'm like, maybe I should put in some effort, and like, maybe if I can't whip it, I'll just bar it. And like, but that's the problem with me. I'm never someone who goes to the bar and like, let me get the bar out of the way, and then let's work on the whip. I'm like, we're not doing the bar.
I'm doing the whip.
I'm doing the whip. But like, I've tried this whip like 20 times and I've not pulled it. And like, it's basically just bunny hopping from like downward, and it's just not, there's no speed. If I could get another little bit of speed, it would be done. But the way you're coming out of the trick before, there's no speed. Anyways,
so there's an Aaron Ross part in
the
future.
I know it's in there.
That's
I don't know if it'll be the last one, but it definitely is close to the last one. And I'm almost okay with saying that it is. But I love filming. It's just finding time to stay physically on top of it. And that makes it like that's the hardest part. It's
Yeah.
mostly just being like, hey, how do you stay like ready to keep filming parts?
Especially juggling all the shit you got going on.
Yeah,
to make
that's-
time to go practice.
But
at
we
the
just
skate park or
finished up
whatever.
3 big projects, like real estate projects, and so therefore, like next year, I might have a lot of time to be able to like get out with the guys like a couple hours a day and like film. We have like, and so somebody's like, yeah, I do enjoy this. Like I love filming and I love getting out and riding. I love, so the parts might be a little different. I feel like this is the one where I'm still trying to push it. The next one might be a little more like I want to do an all bike edit, like with some big bikes and like not necessarily a DJ bike, but
more
like
fun.
Yeah, like I jumped that line out in Bentonville with the like drop bar bike. I just want to do fun stuff, just like kind of like be weird, do whatever I want. Like, see, I don't know what the future.
And it's been
holds.
said before, the people just want to see you ride at that.
Yeah,
at a certain point.
I said this. I think I said it probably on Click, but I said,
Yeah.
like 5 years ago, people were still mad at me about like I sucked or this, that, and the other. You did your stuff whack now. I'm like, okay, whatever. And now, maybe 3 years ago, you'd still get a little bit of like, yeah, it kind of like sucks now. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not doing what's fashionable today. I'm doing what I always did. And like the people who know me, it's still pushing. And I knew that. Like, I wasn't offended by them saying that. I just understood like you want to see something different. But what I did realize is that today, more people are excited to see me ride than 3 years ago when people wanted to. They understand the bar is different,
Right.
And they understand I'm just here. Like I kind of see myself as an entertainer now, and I'm like, hey, I'm just here to like entertain you. And like, if I motivate you to get out on the weekend and ride bikes as a weekend warrior, I did my job.
Yep.
And like, if you're having fun, then that's all that matters. 3 years ago, I wanted to be like, nah, I'm hanging with the dudes.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hang with the dudes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you were talking that how much you enjoyed being, the man on the street at Dawn of the Streets, and I loved watching.
We did
that
talk
video.
about that. We're going to do a lot more of that next year. I hope. Like, COVID kind of we started right before COVID. The Swamp Fest thing was good. We had plans, and then like COVID kind of put that on hold.
Yeah.
And then Dugan, I was going to go to Richmond, but I couldn't, so Dugan went. And then now I think I'm gonna. Not that Dugan did a bad job, but I think we're going to try and
Yeah, we're ready for more Aaron.
I'm ready.
Aaron
And
on
we're talking,
camera
and
on the
they're
mic, dude.
they're getting all excited. They're talking about like going overseas, and I'm like, dude, I'm ready.
Yes,
so I'm
that's so
excited.
sick.
So I think I'm pretty decent at it. I think it's fun. I think I have enough information on people that are there that I can kind of pull.
And
out
it's like
some
filling a void. There in BMX for a while, it felt like it was just like riding, clip, no personality, no talking.
people want to see personality. All right, what's the longest podcast you've ever done?
This one. We're at 2 hours and 47 minutes.
That is insane.
Yeah, I think 2.5 hours was the.
I told my wife would be.
previous
I
record.
told my wife would be done in an hour, and she laughed. So she was right. Let's see. She's probably like, I'm outside. We're going to Taco Boys. I can't believe you've never been.
Shit, I can't believe I've never been either.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. This was great.
Thanks for coming.
We're doing Burn Slow stuff in the future. We're doing more podcasts in the future.
That's it.
We're coming to, we're going to play some golf maybe.
That's it, baby. Oh yeah, so let's do the contest. If you've made it this far, comment Burn Slow in the comments, and then we'll go through and pick one in a future episode and send you some shit.
Boom.
I'll buy you a shirt.
All right,
And so
I like
will
it.
he.
I'll buy you a shirt too.
Yeah.
We're going to get you out a package. I'll sign something, and I won't sign the shirt.
Oh yeah, and by the way, this has been Kanode Knows, not his podcast. It's my podcast.
It's my podcast.
He's
Welcome
in
to
my house.
Aaron Ross Knows for Dig. I've taken over, and we are here now and in his house.
Yep.
Um,
Shout out Dig.
Thank you,
for
Dig.
coming
Thank
on.
you, Dig, for letting us do, for working with Adam and everybody with the collaboration.
Yep.
I think it's doing really well. We've sold a bunch of stuff. We're selling out of stuff. So
Please don't sell out of the XLs. I want one.
ooh,
I need one.
big. See, I've always told Brett Silva that you got to. I'm like, we're the big body boys. You got to wear
Big
those
body boys,
XLs.
yeah.
And you're big body boy.
I'm a big body
there
boy,
we go.
you know.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
All
Thank
right,
you
man.
again. And until next time.
Make sure you smash that like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, you've reached the end of the video. Thanks for watching another episode of Kanode Knows, brought to you by Dig, and I'll see you next week. I'm not sure who the next guest is going to be. We're looking at Ryan Schur, Dakota Roche is coming, Grant Uby. We got some hitters coming, but none of them are recorded yet, so enjoy this one for this week. And recorded just in the nick of time. It's going to be dropping tomorrow morning. So happy Monday. Have a good week. And thanks for all the support and the positive messages. Aaron, thanks again for coming over. And God, I love Aaron Ross. Aaron Ross is dope. If you haven't liked the video at this point, just click it. Do it. All right. Bye.